Cable Channel 5 presents the District 29 Finals from Gloucester County College. Hello everybody, with John Vogeding, I'm John Mondelli. We have some interesting wrestling. Steve Anuszewski will join us later. I'll move over and do the interviews of the winners. John, another interesting night, and it's not over. Usually Paulsboro has a clinch, or almost clinched by now, but it's a long way to go.
That's true, John. And for the first time in a long time, there's no champion at this point. Paulsboro's 9.5 points ahead entering the finals. They have 8 in the finals. West Deptford has 5 in the finals, but you know what that means. It means if West Deptford wins every match and Paulsboro loses every match, you have a new District 29 champion.
And of course, pins count, points accumulate by how much you win by.
That's right. You can pick up an extra bonus for getting a pin or getting a tech fall or getting a major decision. Plus, each time somebody wins, you'll hear our point total going into the finals, but each time a school wins, they get automatically 4 more points for winning that championship.
Of course, we have some wrestlers going for 3 district titles. You have Seneca Cooper, who's got 100 wins in his career, going for his first title.
That's correct. He's always been a district place winner, but he's never won a district championship, even though he was a district runner-up and a regional champion last year. Interestingly, Kevin Van Brill is going for his 3rd title this evening, and Jermaine Ruffin is going for his 3rd. A heavyweight, John, has never, ever won 4 district championships. Jermaine Ruffin's on the doorstep of winning 3 tonight.
Okay, it should be interesting. How about some 2 people with chances of winning their 2nd?
Well, we have a slew of guys going for 2nd. Demian Green is going for a 2nd. Zeckman from Woodbury, Seibert from Pittman. An interesting matchup at 45. Jason Brown of Paulsboro and John Craig of West Deptford. Both won district championships last year. Jason Brown right here, John Craig when he wrestled for Shalleck. And Brad Entricken is going for a 2nd district title. His first for West Deptford. He also won a district title when he was wrestling for Paul VI High School.
Okay, one last question. Any surprises going into the finals?
Not really. You had some 3rd placers beat some 2nd, or some 3rd seeded wrestlers beat some 2nd seeded wrestlers. That happened in several weight classes. But all the number 1 seeds are still alive. No number 4s beat a number 1. And by the way, everybody going to semifinals was 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 5.
Okay, should be some interesting wrestling. We'll be back with the introduction of the wrestlers right after this.
At 103 pounds, a sophomore, the number 2 seed in this weight class, 21-5 this year, 27-6 for his career, from West Deptford, John White. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class, 23-1 this year, 34-11 career, from Paulsboro High School, David Gibbons. At 112 pounds, a sophomore, the number 3 seed in this weight class, a 2-time district place winner, 21-3 this year, 39-10 career, from Pittman High School, Jason Mercado. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 1 seed in this weight class. The district champion at 102 pounds last year, the Region 8 champion at 102 pounds last year, 19-4 this year, 58-10 career, from Paulsboro High School, Demian Green. At 119 pounds, a junior, the number 1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 finalist, 19-6 this year, 52-20 career, from West Deptford, Jason Gardner. His opponent is a junior and the number 3 seed in this weight class. He's a 2-time district place winner and a defending district champion. In 1994, he was the Region 8 champion. 19-3 this year, 68-12 career, from Woodbury High School, Michael Zeckman. At 125 pounds, a junior, and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 2-time defending district champion, a 2-time region finalist, and defending region champion. His record 22-1 this year, 82-7 career, from Clearview, Kevin Van Brill. His opponent is a junior and the number 3 seed in this weight class. A 2-time district place winner, 25-2 this year, 50-14 career, from Paulsboro High School, Marvin Hamilton. At 130 pounds, a sophomore, and the number 2 seed in this weight class. A 2-time district place winner, 23-3 this year, 40-10 career, from Gateway, Zach Bush. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 3-time district place winner and 2-time finalist. A 2-time region place winner and a defending region champion at 126 pounds. 26-1 this year, 111, 15 for his career, from Paulsboro, Seneca Cooper. At 135 pounds, a sophomore, the number 3 seed, a 2-time District 29 finalist, 20-2 this year, 41-8 career, from Kingsway, Kevin Lowe. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 4-time District 29 place winner and a defending district champion at 126 pounds. A 2-time region place winner and runner-up in 95. 22-1 this year. 91-17 career, from Pittman, Scott Seibert. At 140 pounds, a sophomore, the number 2 seed in this weight class, 19-3 this year, 32-13 career, from Kingsway, Matt Hoover. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed. A 2-time District 29 place winner and former region place winner. 27-1 this year, 71-23 career, from Paulsboro, George Wilson. At 145 pounds, a junior, the number 2 seed in this weight class. He placed 3rd in District 31 last year. 23-2 this year, 61-12 career, from West Effort, John Craig. His opponent is a senior, number 1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 finalist and defending district champion at 142 last year. He placed 3rd in Region 8 in 1995. He's 22-2 this year, 70-15 career, from Paulsboro, Jason Brown. At 152 pounds, a senior and a number 1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time district place winner and District 28 champion in 1994. 19-2 this year, 69-15 career, from West Effort, Brad Entrican. His opponent is a junior. He's a number 2 seed in this weight class and is a 2-time District 29 place winner. 18-4 this year, 48-22 career, from Kingsway, Joe Harry. At 160 pounds, a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A a two-time District 29 place winner. 21-6 this year, 49-32 career from West Deptford, Tom Anuszewski. At 160 pounds, his opponent is the number 2 seed. 16-6 this year, 59-35 career from Clearview, Paul Duffy. At 171 pounds, a senior, the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 finalist. 21-2 this year, 62-15 career from Pittman High School, Chris Bailey. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 2 seed in this weight class. A 2-time District 29 place winner. 17-3 this year, 36-11 career from Deptford High School, Sean Hendricks. At 189 pounds, a junior and the number 3 seed. 14-4 this year, 14-4 career from Kingsway, Dave Jamieson. His opponent is a junior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. 19-2 this year, 43-8 career from Deptford High School, Harry Weber. At 215 pounds, a senior, the number 3 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 place winner. Runner-up in 1995, 22-2 this year, 50-28 career from Kingsway, Matt Forzio. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. 22-4 this year, 34-7 career from Paulsboro, John David. At 275 pounds, a senior, the number 2 seed in this weight class, 19-3 this year, 39-8 career from Deptford, Jason Rush. His opponent is a junior and the number 1 seed in this weight class, a 2-time District 29 champion at heavyweight. 2nd and Region 8 at 275 last year. 24-1 this year, 69-13 career from Paulsboro, Jermaine Ruffin.
From District 29. We'll take a break for a little message. We'll be right back right after this.
High school wrestling.
Here we are back at Matt's side, getting ready to start with the District 29 tournament, 103-pound weight class. David Gibbon of Paulsboro, a senior. He'll be wrestling against John White from West Deptford, a sophomore.
After 23 years of
David Gibbon met John White in the dual meet this year and gave John one of his 5 losses. David Gibbons' only loss this year in a 23-1 campaign was to Joe Tenuto of Collingswood, 12-11. The wrestler that John White defeated during the season. White's losses to Gibbon in the dual meet, to Brett Favorite of Delran. He lost to the wrestler from Kittatinny at 112 pounds, and he lost to Andy Vallejo of Kingsway, up a weight at 112 pounds.
Well, John, I made it over. I just want to go over the team score as we get here into the finals. Right now, there is a 10.5-point difference.
Oh boy!
John White has Dave Gibbon in big trouble.
Oh brother, what a start!
Gibbon comes out. He steps over White and gets a reversal. think we're going to see some back points here.
Oh, brother.
White right out of the blocks, John. This was a great match the first time they wrestled, and I don't expect anything different this time.
Amazing. Really amazing.
4-2 for John White. 1:19 to go here in the first period.
It was a wild one in the dual meet, although David Gibbon came right out in the dual meet and kind of dominated the match, even though there were a lot of points scored.
White came out fired up, as he usually does, and took it right to Gibbon here with a big 4-point move. Excuse me, there were no back points. They wiped the back points off, John.
How about that?
It's 3-2 now for John White.
They had him up there originally, and evidently the official on the mat is Chris Hunter. He's being assisted by Barry Jackson, and evidently it was felt that he didn't hold him there for the necessary 2 count, so it's 3-2, John White in the lead.
White in on another shot. Gibbon blocks off. White looking for something upper body, has his head buried right there in the shoulder where he needs to have it. Gibbon needs to work for head position.
First time in the District 29 final for either wrestler. Gibbon the senior, White the sophomore.
John White's first district tournament, John. Dave Gibbon wrestled last year in the district tournament at 119 pounds, lost in the first round.
And in one period, John White of West Deptford leads 3-2.
David Gibbon, well, John White, the flip was green, John. John White deferred to Dave Gibbon. Dave Gibbon took the defensive position. White, very good on top.
Yes, he is.
Trying for a tilt here. Got David Gibbon's wrist tied up. Likes to work that head right in the back.
David Gibbon, of course, coached by Paul Marina. And West Deptford's John White, coached, of course, by Pete DiBiase.
And this is a big match in the team score. Paulsboro leading at this time by 10.5 points. Each match in the finals is worth 4 points plus your bonus points for pin, major decision, etc., John. Given to his feet. White attempting to trip. And they're out of bounds. With 1:20 to go. Still 3-2.
David Gibbon advanced to the finals as the #1 seed by a 23-second pin over Doug Gordon of Pittman. And then he pinned in the semifinals Chris Stockdale of Glassboro in 1:56. John White, 24-second pin over Adam Scamaffa of Clayton in the first round, quarterfinals rather. And the decision, Robert Becker of Clearview 9-2 in the semis. Robert Becker came back to beat Chris Stockdale of Glassboro 10-0 and will advance to the Region 8 tournament at Apsagami High School.
Still no change here with 1:04 to go. John White leading 3-2 here in the second period. And there's a stalling call on John White.
Pretty hard stalling call, Steve, although you know, technically by the book, I think the call was for the bottom wrestler coming to his feet and top
Dave
wrestler
Gibbon
not
has his
taking it
hips
back
out,
to the mat
but White
right
has
away.
his wrist here, John. I don't think the call, John, was for the fact that he held him up for 5 seconds. I just thought it was a cumulative thing.
Not going for the pin.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Caution given to John White. Of course, that's the first caution. You're allowed 2 cautions, and then after that, you get a point for every caution. Two back points given on that move. Makes the score 5-2 in favor of White. Now it's 5-3. Given gets an escape.
Given to his feet. 5-3 with 14 seconds to go. Well, quick tilt there by White. He's in on a single.
Both strong wrestlers.
Both big 103-pounders, John.
Yes.
So we're at the end of 2. 5-3 for John White from West Deptford. And John White will take the defensive position.
The first place wrestler, of course, gets a bye on Wednesday night, the first round of the regionals. Region 8 will be at Anuszewski High School starting at 6 o'clock. The seconds and thirds from each district compete that night. The winners of this District 29 will join the 3 other district championship winners entering the competition on Friday night, again at 6 o'clock.
John, Dave Given was running a half there. John White did a good job getting to his feet, gets the escape, and now leads 6-3 with 1:31 to go. Given in on a single, White in on a single.
Like 2 Bulldogs out there, Steve.
Yeah, good close match. That first takedown was key in this match, as I think it was the last time they wrestled. We're approaching a minute to go. One minute to go. 6-3 for John White.
David Given needs a big 2-2 move.
Either that or he needs to take him down and let him up. Or a stall point.
White doing a great job of countering all of Given's shots. 40 seconds remaining.
And still showing enough aggressiveness not to get hit for stalling, John. Given on a single. White doing a good job blocking him off. Given on a drop.
20 seconds to go.
White controlling his wrist. There's a stall call on John White. 17 seconds to go, John. John White leads Dave Given 6-4. Given in on a double.
Oh, brother!
Throws Given to his back. Given's in big trouble.
Oh, brother!
That'll do it. John White earns a district title at 103 pounds.
Oh, brother! What a great performance by John White. 11-4, the final score. Jubilation in the West Deptford corner. Steve Lynch picks up the young sophomore. Pete DiBiase, Vince Layton, Greg Lay, a happy group of West Deptford coaches.
That was quite a battle, John. Quite a battle.
Great way to start District 29.
And I expect another one right here at 112, John.
That narrows the gap. Paulsboro had a 10.5-point lead coming in. Right now they have a 6.5-point lead. We're at 112 pounds. Number 1 seed, Demian Green of Paulsboro. Sophomore with a 19-4 record this year. He's wrestling the number 3 seed, Jason Mercado, a sophomore with a 21-3 record. Jason Mercado advanced to the finals by upsetting number 2 seed, Andy Vallejo of Kingsway, 11-5 in the semifinals.
That was a heck of a match, wasn't it, John, for Jason Mercado?
It certainly was. Demian Green, the number 1 seed, he had a 38-second pin against Nick Guaro of Clayton in the quarterfinal. Pinned Merrill Anthony of Alloway of West Deptford in 3:47. Vallejo advanced in the quarterfinals by pinning Aaron Stockdale of Gloucester. Then he lost to Mercado 11-5. Came back to win against Merrill Alloway 7-4, and Andy Vallejo will make his second straight trip to Region 8. Demian Green, 19-4 this year, 48-10 in his two-year career as a varsity starter for Paulsboro. Lost to Kevin Rucci, the returning. I don't believe that. Did you
I
know
don't
that?
either. John Vogeding's wife, who's missed 50-50 at Paulsboro Wrestling for as long as I can remember, just won a 50-50.
That's incredible. Maybe she'll treat me to dinner tomorrow.
Oh.
That's right. We have a seating meeting.
That's
tomorrow.
right. Maybe pizza when you get home.
Yeah. Demian Green lost 2-1 to Kevin Rucci of Eastern in the Caldwell Tournament Finals. Rucci was second in the state last year for Eastern High School. He lost to Mike Mercado of Tallwood, Virginia, as you see a stalling call. Mercado was a state runner-up in Virginia last year. He tech-falled Demian Green. Green moved up a weight and lost by fall to Steve Napolitano of Haddon Heights. He is 18-2 this year, was a district runner-up last year. And just last week, Demian Green lost by fall to Matt Tressler of Belvedere, a returning state champion. That match, interestingly, Steve, was 5-5 entering the third period. Green was almost out from the bottom, got caught, got turned, and got pinned.
That was a really good match for 2 periods, wasn't it, John?
That certainly was. Exciting.
Yeah.
Jason
done 1 period here.
Jason Mercado, 3 losses this year. As you see a stalling call given to the other wrestler, to Demian Green. They both have a warning. Todd Trampe of Delsey twice pinned Jason Mercado this year, twice in the first period. He also lost to John White of West Deptford, the sophomore who just won the District 29 103-pound championship. He lost 6-2 to White.
At the end of 1 period, there's no score at 112 pounds. Jason Mercado winning the flip and deferred to Demian Green, who took defense. Green to his feet, out on the switch, and there's 1. Good job there by Jason Mercado, giving 1, not 2.
I'm just going to say probably the smart move with Demian coming off the bottom, giving 1 point. He couldn't take him down the first period. Try and force him to take him down this period.
This young man has really impressed me, John, in this tournament.
Well, he impressed me with the win over Andy Vallejo because I admire the way Andy Vallejo wrestles. He's a tough, young, outstanding wrestler, and Mercado kind of beat him one-sidedly, 11-5.
Let it be known that Jason Mercado wrestled 1 quad this year at 103, John.
Wow. Got a double stall. So you're going to have 1 point for each wrestler.
Double stall, which I don't think it's been that boring in this match, but there's Green on a cross pick.
Well, we've seen all kinds of stalling calls in this tournament because you have a variety of officials, Steve. Barry Jackson, basically more a freestyle type official. So he calls his stalling calls a little bit differently than Orville Wilson, who's out there as his assistant this match, or Roy Fenimore or Chris Hunter. We have a variety.
This is true.
Head coaches in this match, of course, Paul Marina in the corner along with Dean Duca for the second straight match. Pittman High School, coached by Chuck Williamson, Jr., and his assistant is his brother,
Jim Williamson.
Right? His 4th year at Pittman High School.
Mercado on a single.
Well, Demian has to be the aggressor here.
Yeah, Jason Mercado has taken most of the shots in the last 15-20 seconds of this match. 37 seconds to go here in the second period. 2-1 for Green.
25 seconds to go in the second period. On the questionnaire, we had the wrestlers fill out, Steve. Jason Mercado said he enjoys watching sports, spending time with his family, and Trixie, school and studying and fishing. Demian Green considers running and lifting weights his favorite pastime.
Another stall call on Demian Green.
That ties the score up at 2-2.
As we've talked many times off the air, John, that's one of my pet peeves in wrestling is that the inconsistency between different officials in stalling. And I know everybody has their different interpretation, but I think at least they should make attempt to be more consistent.
Well, the book is specific ways to what to look for in stalling, but again, it's a judgment call. And you see the third period, that was Mercado's choice, and he elected to take that neutral position because he has forced a couple of stalling calls and has gotten a couple of stalling points against Demi Green.
Right.
And the next stall against Green would be a two-pointer, and if it goes one more after that, it would be
Two-point takedown on a dunk for Jason Mercado. 4-2 lead.
Jason Mercado, the giant killer in this tournament. Beats Andy Vallejo, who was a runner-up here last year, and he was also a regional place winner last year.
Placed third last year,
right?
Yeah, John.
And now he's taking on Demian Green and leading him 4-2 with a minute 23 left. And Demian Green was not only the District 29 champion last year, but the Region 8 champion. Jason Mercado, the giant killer.
Green to his feet. Mercado has to be careful too, John, because he's been one for stalling. So he needs to be aggressive.
One of Demian Green's biggest assets, as I've seen it the last 2 years, Steve, has been his speed, and he looks a little sluggish tonight.
He's on a switch there. There's an escape for Green.
Now, Green,
Minute to go.
he has to keep the pressure on.
Mercado on another single, John.
Doing an excellent job getting on Demian Green's legs. Paulsboro, of course, with 8 in the finals this evening, and West Deptford with 5. Paulsboro needs a couple of wins to lock up that team title.
.30 seconds left. 4-3 for Mercado. There's a stalemate call, 22 seconds to go. Mercado's taking most of the shots here.
Well, the sophomore certainly has no fear of a defending champion. Nine seconds
left. Mercado in on a leg. He's gonna get a takedown.
He's got 2. He's got him on his back. 2 and 2.
Jason Mercado at 112 pounds beats the Region 8 champion.
Great job, Jason Mercado. Well, Steve, we're going to see some interviews this evening, and we're going to go to John Mondelli, who's going to be interviewing the 103-pound champion, John White of West Deptford.
Okay, Steve and John with the 103-pound champion, John White of West Deptford. John, congratulations. You wrestled David Given just a couple weeks ago. What did you do different this match?
Well, I figured that I had to execute my moves better and be on the more offensive side and not take them for granted and go in too overconfident. But I just had to be relaxed and wrestle my match and just keep executing my moves and not worry about what he was going to do as much as what I was going to.
Did the coaches tell you anything? Because you talked about being aggressive. It looked like you were aggressive from the beginning.
Yeah, one thing they told me to make sure I do is just make sure he doesn't chase my one leg and watch his outside singles and just keep him on the defensive and more offensive wrestling by me.
Okay, at Region 8, what do you know about your weight class?
I know there's a lot of decent people in Region 8, but I don't think it's anything I can't handle.
Okay, John, congratulations.
Thanks.
We'll be back with more wrestling from Gloucester County College right after this.
119 pounds. Jason Carter for West Deptford.
All right, here we are at 119 pounds. Thanks to John Mondelli for that interview. We're now at 119 with Jason Gardner, a junior from West Deptford, the #1 seed, battling against Michael Zeckman of Woodbury, the #3 seed. Gardner, 18-6 entering this final. He won his quarterfinal by a tech fall over Jeremy Napoli of Gateway. He won by tech fall in the semifinals against Brian Herker of Pittman. Michael Zeckman, who was a champion here 2 years ago. You see a takedown by Gardner. Zeckman first in 95, third in 94. He is 19-3 this year. He advanced by beating Donnie Mertz of Kingsway 18-5. Then he had a tough close match with Steve Sarbello, gained a little bit of revenge. He had lost to Steve Sarbello of Paulsboro in the dual meet. He beat Steve 3-1. Sarbello qualified for another trip to the regionals by finishing third with an 11-3 win over Brian Herker of Pittman.
Yeah, John, these two wrestlers met earlier in the season in a dual meet. Gardner was the winner in that match, and that's one of the reasons, and he's got Zeckman in a little trouble here. Gardner, very physical wrestler. Gonna get a back count.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my, that's close. Great job by Zeckman, fighting off his back.
But 5-1 here, John. 15 seconds to go.
Jason.
Oh, look out for a
Oh
spladdle.
my.
I don't know if he has a takedown yet, John.
Well, I thought I saw a back count, but we got two takedown, two reversal, I believe.
I think that's what there was. No back points. Now, I don't think the score, we're gonna check the score. They have 7-5 on the board, John. I don't think that's right.
See what they give here. Well, Orville Wilson is the referee on the mat. The mat assistant is Roy Fenimore. Orville Wilson's at the table explaining what he was calling. Scoreboard still showing 7-5 in favor of Gardner. And 7-3. 7-3, you're right, Steve. We got a takedown, no back points, and a reversal.
We're going here into the second period. Gardner taking the defensive position as Zeckman deferred.
Jason Gardner, 52-20. He's a junior in his career at West Deptford. Second in the districts the last 2 years, Steve.
Optional start by Zeckman, who tries to throw Gardner and puts himself right on his back.
Brother. Oh, my.
He's got Mike Zeckman in big trouble again.
Big trouble. Shaking the half.
And whether he pins him or not, he's going to have a huge lead here,
boy.
John.
Definitely got a three-point near fall, but he's not done yet. He's still got the arm trap. There's the three. 13-3 lead for Jason Gardner. Very impressive.
Gardner's been to the finals three times, John. This is his third trip. And yet to win a title, but he looks like he's in pretty good position now.
He looks very strong, very hungry, although there's a takedown by Zeckman.
13-6.
Gardner has 6 losses this year. Among those losses, he lost to a wrestler from St. Mark's in Delaware, lost to Van Brill of Clearview, and lost to Napolitano of Haddon Heights. Zeckman's 3 losses this year. He lost to Aaron Taylor of Camden Catholic, a very good wrestler, 5-2. Lost to Jason Gardner, 17-9, and we mentioned before he lost to Steve Sarbello in the dual meet. That was 12-6. Zeckman coming back to get a little revenge in that semifinal here today.
Yes, and he's trying for revenge again here, John, but he's down 13-6 halfway through the second period.
And you see him in the corner talking with his coaches. Head coach is Jack Hill, who you see on the left.
Woodbury graduate.
Right, and the assistant coach under Jack Hill is
Texas.
Rich
Venuto, graduate of Paula VI.
Paula VI high school wrestler, wrestled under Gary Papa, who just guided his Camden Catholic team to a state parochial A title the other day. Has that program sailing.
As we knew he would.
Yes, we did.
Second with a half. Gardner attempting to come to his feet. Jason Gardner just has great hips, John.
Great hips, great strength, great speed. That's a deadly combination.
Beckman needs to take Gardner to the mat here. And he does. Look out for the tilt.
20 seconds left in the second period. 13-6. The man on the bottom, Jason Gardner, is winning this bout against Mike Zeckman and Woodbury.
Gardner to his feet again. Seems like Gardner's okay until he goes out of bounds, John. I mean, he wrestles like a tiger the whole time, and then when he seems to go out of bounds, he looks a little tired.
That's the end of 2 periods. 13-6 is the score. Jason Gardner leading Mike Zeckman. Zeckman is on the bottom.
And the team score is getting yet closer, John.
Well, what do we say? It's 6.5
now. If Gardner wins, it'll be 2.5, or if he wins by this score, it'll be 1.5. I'm sorry, 2.5. He only leads by 7. My math isn't that good. And there's an escape from Mike Zeckman.
That makes it 13-7. A 6-point differential. Wrestlers can gain 14 points by winning in the finals. If they win by a fall, they get an extra 2 points. They can also get bonus points for tech falls or major decisions. 2 years ago, Zeckman was third at 103 pounds, pinning Vinny Romano of Woodstown in the consolation final. Last year, he won the 108-pound title with a fall over Jason Bish of Paulsboro.
Yeah, as a freshman, he lost in the semifinals to the eventual champion, Kevin Van Brill, John, and then went down to Region 8 and won a Region 8 title, finishing third.
Mentioning that Kevin Van Brill, he pinned Jason Gardner in the 114-pound finals last year in 258. The year before, Jason Gardner lost to Bill Lucas of Woodbury 7-5 in the championship round. So Jason, no stranger to the championship finals. This is his third time in. Takes the injury time out. We see him being attended to by Greg Lay, the dark shirt, the assistant coach for under Pete DiBiase. Interestingly, Steve, I was looking at some previous years. We're talking about the closest of the scoring here. Last year, Paulsboro won by 28.5 points, but West Deptford in the 90s was second in 90, 92, 93, 94, 95, and closed the gap all the way down to 28.5 points last year.
Yeah, John, and this is the closest district tournament that I ever can remember, even going back to when Highland was in our district.
Boy, another full house, Steve. I'll tell you, Gloucester County College, what a great place to watch wrestling, and they jam them in every nook and cranny in here. It was packed for the preliminary quarterfinal round on Friday night. It was packed for the semifinals this afternoon. It's packed once again. Great for the wrestlers.
Single. He's got Zeckman off his feet.
Oh, what an elevation move by Zeckman. Nothing out of it. Still neutral. The dominant team in the 80s, of course, was still Paulsboro in District 29. Glassboro back then was the biggest challenger. Second in 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. Pittman interrupted it in 86. Glassboro second again in 87 and 88. Deptford second in 89. Closest match during the 80s, their closest finals. Paulsboro won by 22 points in 1982 over Glassboro. Paulsboro riding 24 consecutive district championships, 19 straight in District 29.
Near the end of the match here, Gardner has Zeckman in trouble. And this is a big takedown for West Deptford, John. He gets it.
Huge takedown. If he gets the takedown here, he's got two. It's going to make it a major decision.
And that cuts the lead in the team score, John, down to 1.5 points.
And the first district championship for Jason Gardner. We're going to go see John Mondelli again as he introduces and interviews that 112-pound champion Jason Mercado.
Steve and John with Jason Mercado, the winner at 112 pounds. Congratulations, Jason. A couple big wins today, starting off in the semis, beating Andy Vallejo and then beating the #1 seed, Demian Green. Talk about the two matches, and did you wrestle any of those two people before?
I just worked real hard. My 3 coaches prepared me, and practice, I worked real hard, and I wrestled Andy Vallejo last year once, and he beat me. So I just had to be mentally ready, and I just went after him and attacked him and never gave up. I wrestled Demian Green 3 times last year, and he beat me all 3 times. So, I knew what he was going to do. He's real tall, and he uses his leverage, so I just stayed outside and circled and didn't get underneath him.
What about 112 pounds in regions?
I hope to do well in regions. There's going to be a lot of tough competition, but I think I can do it.
Okay, Jason, congratulations. Now back to more of the wrestling with John and Steve.
John Vogeding along with Steve Anuszewski back here in the District 29 Finals at Gloucester County College. 125 pounds, Kevin Van Brill, twice a district champion, and he's wrestling Marvin Hamilton Jr. of Paulsboro in his district finals for the first time. Van Brill, a junior, advanced to the finals, the #1 seed in this weight class with a 108 fall over Joe Hiles of Woodstown. And then he decisioned Tim Narcissi of West Deptford in a great match this afternoon, 5-3. Narcissi came back to win on a third period reversal against Steve Felder of Woodbury, 2-0 to earn the third place medal and the right to advance to Region 8. Marvin Hamilton Jr. is a junior from Paulsboro High School. He's the #3 seed. He advanced by decisioning Matt Stasium of Glassboro 6-0. And then he got a little bit of revenge, avenging a regular season dual meet loss to Steve Felder of Woodbury, 11-3. Van Brill, a junior, 22-1 entering this match. Marvin Hamilton, also a junior, 25-2 entering this match. The only loss for Kevin Van Brill this year to Dean Jones of Mainland, 7-4.
John Van Brill wrestled a lot of the year at 119. His one loss did come in the first week of the season at 125. There's Hamilton in. Van Brill doing a good job with a front headlock. Got it locked up. Hamilton's in trouble. Van Brill very good with a cradle.
Oh boy.
No takedown yet, John.
Not yet, because Hamilton's fighting it.
30 seconds to go in the period.
Here's the takedown call. Hamilton lost in the Deep Creek Tournament Finals to Joey Legg of Gloucester, Virginia. A fall in 2:44 in a match. It was 2-2 when he got pinned. He also lost to Steve Felder 4-3 in a dual meet, and then avenged that loss in the semifinals.
Still in a cradle situation as the period comes to an end.
2-0 lead for Kevin Van Brill. Last year, Kevin Van Brill won the 114-pound title by pinning Jason Gardner of West Everett, as we mentioned before. The year before, he won the 103-pound title by beating Steve Sorbello of Paulsboro 9-1. Second period action.
2-0 for Van Brill, leading Marvin Hamilton. John, I believe that cradle that he had on Hamilton is what he pinned Gardner with last year in the finals.
I think you're right, Steve.
I believe the match is... Marvin Hamilton.
Oh, my. Oh, brother. Oh, my.
Got Van Brill in trouble.
Big move by Hamilton. Oh, my.
Cutting back, John.
Oh, brother.
Cutting back.
With a vengeance. Oh, my.
Van Brill in big trouble.
Brother.
It'll be a 3-point near fall for Hamilton.
What a great battle by Van Brill, but what a great move by Hamilton.
Yeah, I haven't seen that cut back, John, in at least 10 years. Hamilton with a cradle.
Gonna run out of room. Oh my. 5-2. Hamilton leading Van Brill. Van Brill was a Region 8 champion last year, a Region 8 runner-up the year before. And of course, a lot of Hamilton faces in the crowd, Steve.
And a lot of Van Brill faces too, John.
That's true.
Big two traditional families of Gloucester County Wrestling, District 29 Wrestling, the Van Brills at Gateway and Clearview, Hamilton's at Paulsboro. Interesting, these two wrestlers had uncles who were teammates and workout partners at Temple University back in the 70s. That's Hans Van Brill and Tyrone Hamilton.
The Hamiltons, okay, go ahead. The Hamiltons, of course, have 11 district championships in the family. Leading off with Marvin Hamilton Jr.'s father in 1966 and 67. He won at 123 and 130 pounds. Tyrone Hamilton, the uncle to young Ham, won at 98, 106, and 115 from 71 to 73. Uncle Jeff won 106, 115, 22, and 22, 4 consecutive years starting in 73. Bryant won championships in 1978 and 1979.
And Marvin Hamilton Jr. is the first Hamilton from this generation to make it to the finals. The Van Brills, Kevin is not the first Van Brill to make it from this generation.
Oh my, oh brother. Nothing yet? Oh my, 5-3 after 2.
Great action, John. Every match.
Van Brill championship, Steve. Bob, who is Chico, right?
Right.
He's the father of Kevin. He won 106-pound title in 68. Hans won the 106 pounds and 123 in 69 and 71. A nephew, Greg Van Brill, won at 188 in 86 and 87. And Kevin, of course, a two-time district champion here.
Hamilton with an escape. He leads 6-3.
He's on a mission. We're at 125 pounds in the District 29 finals. John White of West Deptford, decision David Gibbon of Paulsboro, 11-4 to win at 103. Jason Mercado of Pittman, decision defending champion Demian Green of Paulsboro, 8-3 at 112 pounds. That rough, tough Jason Gardner won the 119-pound title with a very impressive 15-7 win over Michael Zeckman. And that brings us to 125 pounds, where Marvin Hamilton Jr. is against Kevin Van Brill, the two-time
There's the cradle again.
champion.
He's got Hamilton in
Oh
the
my! Oh brother! Oh my! Oh my! Oh brother! Oh my! Oh brother!
And there it is.
5 minutes and 4 seconds. Kevin Van Brill wins his third consecutive District 29 title with a 5-minute and 4-second pin over Marvin Hamilton Jr. We're going to go to John Mondelli one more time for another interview. This time he's going to have Jason Gardner of West Deptford.
Okay, John and Steve with Jason Gardner, the winner at 119 pounds. Jason, get your first district title, correct?
Yes.
Okay, talk about Zeckman, because you wrestled him before.
He's a tough competitor. He's one of my toughest out there, 119 so far. And he's just a really tough competitor.
What'd you do different this match? I know the last match, it was a lot closer than the score showed, but he beat you that time. What'd you do different this time?
Well, he sort of wrestled a little different. He stayed away from the tie. That's what I used a lot last time. I worked a lot off my tie. But that's about it.
How about 119 pounds up at Region 8?
I don't know. Let's see what's going on.
Okay, congratulations. Okay, we're going to take a break. Be back with more wrestling right after this timeout.
Here we are at 130 pounds, number 1 seed, Seneca Cooper, a senior from Paulsboro High School, against the number 2 seed, Zach Bush, a sophomore from Gateway High School. Cooper, by the way, Steve, comes into this match with a very, very impressive career record. 111 wins, 14 losses. Zach Bush, the sophomore, 40 wins and 10 losses in his short career at Gateway. The fourth time in the district medal round for Seneca Cooper. Second as a freshman, second as a junior, third as a sophomore. His only loss this year was to Nick Angin of Brick Memorial High School, a state champion in '94, 6-4 in overtime in the first weekend Caldwell tournament. Zach Bush comes in 23-3. He lost to Scott Seibert in the Gator Invitational Tournament Finals 5-3, the first weekend of the season. Lost to that Joe Manchio of Sterling 10-3. Lost to Seibert again 10-1 in a dual meet.
This is a matchup between a veteran and really a newcomer here to District 29, although he was a place winner last year. First trip to the finals for Zach Bush. Zach had an outstanding midget career wrestling in Woodbury Heights. Seneca Cooper, and there's a takedown for Bush.
Zach Bush certainly not in all of Seneca Cooper, who has had a great career at Paulsboro and an outstanding season. Zach Bush, by the way, the son of John Bush, who is the head baseball coach at Washington Township High School, and at one time a pretty fair baseball player himself at Glassboro State when he used to be Glassboro and not Rowan.
Cooper, as you said, has won a region title, but has never won a district title.
Yeah, he was a Region 8 champion last year and one of the top 130-pounders in the state this year. Pound for pound, Steve, one of the best high school wrestlers I've seen in a long time, and of course, pound for pound on the football field. What a great defensive back and bomb squatter he was.
Yeah, Seneca's a good athlete, John. It doesn't have a lot of stature, not real tall, but very strong, quick.
He'd like to attend college and wrestle. Franklin and Marshall have shown some interest as he gets a, not yet, the Whizzer is still in. Great battle by Zach Bush. Seneca interested in going to college and wrestle. Franklin and Marshall showing interest. One of his favorite pastimes is watching cartoons. Zach Bush likes the outdoors, fishing and surfing. Right
Seneca
now,
likes to watch cartoons, huh?
He likes to watch cartoons.
He's in on a single.
So did I. He might make a good Channel 5 announcer someday.
That's true. Takedown there by Cooper. He leads 3-2 as the first period ends.
Well, Paulsboro needs to stop the bleeding, Steve. Their lead in this team title race is 1.5 points entering this bout.
Right. West Deptford has 3 wrestlers left, John. Paulsboro has 5 wrestlers left, and counting Seneca Cooper. So with a 1.5 point lead, I think it might come down to 145, John. That's the only time in the finals, except the 103 final, which we've already seen, where John Craig will wrestle Jason Brown. That's the only other meeting between West Deptford and Paulsboro.
Yeah, and I said there's an escape by the Pitbull, Seneca Cooper. I said earlier in the pre-game or pre-meet when I was talking with John Mondelli, you were getting ready to make the introductions, that Jason Brown and John Craig were both district champions last year, but I was wrong. John Craig was third for Shalik High School.
Right.
Jason Brown, of course, a district champion here, as you see the Pitbull get a takedown. Takes a 6-1 lead.
Cooper looked a little tight when he went out there, John, but now he seems to be in control. Bush did a good job in the first period.
Well,
There's Cooper with a half.
He's got 2 teammates that won the majority of their matches this year, and they both lost. Well, 3 teammates, in fact, that won the majority of their matches this year, and all 3 lost in David Gibbon.
Right. Demian Green. And Marv Hamilton.
And Marv Hamilton Jr. So, you know, I guess I'd be a little bit tight going out there, too, saying maybe this is not the night for Paulsboro wrestlers.
Well.
But Seneca's a senior.
Right.
He's been through these wars. If he can take Nick Angin, a former state champ in overtime, and win the Deep Creek tournament, and be as the president has all year, maybe just a matter of time. And
had he won a region title.
And had he been in bounds there, it might have been over.
About halfway through the second here, John. Minute 2 to go. 6-2 for Cooper.
Of course, the head coach for Gateway High School was the District 29 Coach of the Year last year, Dave Brown. He's been at Gateway 14 years. Chuck Lucas in the corner with him, his assistant coach for 8 years. Also gets help from John Howard and Pete Ryan. Paul Marina and Dean Duke are the coaches in the Paulsboro corner. Oh my! Oh my! Oh brother! Oh my! Oh brother! And look at the mat sense, keeping the shoulders inbounds.
33 seconds to go here, John. Trying to turn Bush in, get that half really tight.
25 seconds. Oh, brother, he's got a tight half. Oh, my. Oh, brother. Great fight by Zach Bush, the sophomore from Gateway. 3-point near fall.
11 seconds to go here in the second. Cooper leading 9-2.
Great effort both ways, Steve. Great effort to try and pin. A great effort to come off his back.
That's right, John, and real good effort there by Cooper with the half, but Bush could have easily just said, well, I'm going to be second, but he fought really hard right there. There's a half again.
Cooper getting very physical now. 1 second to go in the period. Of course, he wants to be careful not to be too physical, because we saw what happened in the Paulsboro West Deptford dual meet when Jason Brown got a little careless, dropped his man on the mat, ended up losing by disqualification. Entering the third period, 9-2, Cooper in the lead.
And again, as you mentioned, so far West Deptford has 2 district champions. Paulsboro has none, and that is the reason that the score is narrowed.
So tantalizingly close at this point.
Bush attempted a throw.
Cooper countered it, but did not get the takedown because they were out of bounds. Chris Hunter, the official. Chris Hunter, of course, Steve, the wrestler from Cherry Hill East, who played a prominent role in Cherry Hill East stopping Paulsboro's string of 96 consecutive wins. You see a stalling call. He had a real big win by pin in Freddie Suter over Freddie Suter in that match. Now one of Paulsboro's finalists as a policeman.
Yeah, I wasn't at that match, John, but I heard it was a great match. It's hard to believe that was 14 years ago.
Time flies in the wrestling world.
Cooper drops Bush to his hip. No takedown. There's a cradle.
Oh my!
Looks like 2 there.
There's 2. Oh my!
Bush doing a good job locking Cooper's leg. No near fall yet. Well,
it's a 9-point lead for Cooper, so that is, if he hangs on, a major decision.
Right.
Extra bonus points.
You know, John, it's been a lot of years since in the finals of the districts you were worried about bonus points. You were usually just worried about winning because the title was all but wrapped up most years, or wrapped up when the finals started. This year's a lot different.
Well, and you had a situation where Paulsboro only had, what, 2 wrestlers in the consolation round?
That's right. And the big thing was that West Deptford put 13 through the first round, Paulsboro only putting 10. Now, Paulsboro did the job in the semis, putting 8 through, but West Deptford narrowed the gap a bit in the consolations and then has really gotten into it here in the finals.
Oh my!
Again, the
roll through. Great defensive move by Zach Bush. He felt that half coming in, and as Seneca tried to turn him, he rolled right through.
11-2 with 24 seconds to go. Cooper on that wrist again.
Well, he wants to be careful not to lose it, because right now he has a bonus help for his team. Of course, he can give up 1. He has a 9-point lead, but he can't give up any more than 1.
Seneca Cooper over his career, John, is very stingy with points. He doesn't give up a lot. He's not a big pinner, but he doesn't give up many points.
Time winding down, the last 5 seconds. There it is, 130 pounds. Seneca Cooper, Paulsboro's Pitbull. wins the championship, an 11-2 win over Zach Bush of Gateway. 4 times in the district medal round, the first District 29 championship for Seneca Cooper. We're going to go to John Mondelli, and he'll be talking with Kevin Van Brill.
Guys, with the 125-pound champ, Kevin Van Brill. Kevin, your third one. This one you had to work for a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I was scared for a little bit there, yeah.
Talk about the match, because you started out quick with a 2-0 lead, then you fell behind. What you have to do to get back into the match?
Using my head, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty...
Your mom said to talk this year.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I was on my back and reversed it, pinned them, and that's the match.
Talk about 125 at Region 8. I think Dean Jones is in that weight class. You wrestled him earlier in the year.
Yeah, it's tough still. And I lost Dean Jones. It was a tough match, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to take him this time and rematch. If I get a rematch, I'll get him.
Okay, Kevin, congratulations. Now back to John and Steve.
Here we are at 135 pounds. Thanks to John Mondelli for another interview with our champions of District 29. At 135 pounds, number 1 seeded Scott Seibert of Pittman High School. He's up against Kevin Logue. Kevin Logue, a sophomore from Kingsway High School. Steve, one of the sponsors of District 29 is the South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame organization. We have had some interesting inductees over the years. Last year was no exception. One of the inductees was Ricky Delegata, a Buna Regional High School 77 graduate. Delegata, a 3-time district champion, 2-time regional champion, twice advanced to the state quarterfinals before losing. He was 77-6 in his career at Buna. His best wrestling was still ahead. He went on to the University of Kentucky, where he compiled 124 wins and 20 losses. Was a 3-time All-American, finishing 4th once and 3rd twice in 3 NCAA appearances. Also was a top freestyle wrestler in the United States, and actually was an alternate for the 1980 Olympic team and a member of the 1984 team. Rick Delegata, Buna Regional High School, an inductee in the 16th annual South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame organization.
Rick Delegata was a hell of a wrestler, John.
He was a heck of a wrestler in my book, Steve.
Yeah, and like you said, he really bloomed in college and on the freestyle level, much like another Buna wrestler who we saw at the Nationals last year, Joe Burke.
Yes, Joe Burke, and he helped coach Joe Burke, or tutor him in the offseason, as we see an escape here, making the score 3-1 in favor of Scott Seibert. Joe Burke, unfortunately, made it to the national semifinals last year, had a 1-point lead going out of bounds with 3 seconds remaining in the match. He came back in bounds in a neutral position. He got taken down and lost that match by a point. What a tragedy. Came back to finish 3rd.
Yes, he did.
Scott Seibert, the number 1 seed here. We mentioned he beat Paul Stubbe of Clearview 11-0 in the quarterfinals. Had a 47-second pin against Mike Clancy of West Epworth to reach the finals. Kevin Logue, a sophomore, advanced with a 7-4 win over Jeff Cullen of Woodstown in the quarters. Decision, Kevin Jackson of Woodbury in a wild match, 9-6 in the semis. And then Kevin Jackson came back to get a reversal with 3 seconds left in regulation to beat Mike Clancy of West Epworth 6-5 and earn the right to go to the Region 8 tournament at Absegami High School. That loss for Clancy, as you mentioned, as we were talking earlier this evening, the 7th 1-point loss for that young man this year. Scott Seibert this year has 1 loss. He lost by fall in the 2nd period to Brian Green of Pennsville, 22-1 this year, 91-17 in his career at Pittman. He finished 1st in the districts last year, 3rd in the districts the year before, 2nd in the districts as a freshman. He was 2nd in Region 8 last year, losing in the finals to that Seneca Cooper, who he beat here for the District 29 championship last year.
Scott Seibert, as the period ends, John, he's leading 3-1. Scott Seibert was a state quarterfinalist last year.
Right. Takedown right at the buzzer there, Steve, made it 5-1.
I was screened by the monitor, John. And I guess I should just look at it,
Look
right?
at the monitor. He'll look over it.
5-1 as we go here to the 2nd period. As I was mentioning, Scott Seibert was a state quarterfinalist last year and actually led 9-1 over former state champion Pat Coyle from Phillipsburg. Coyle came back to beat Seibert.
Another tragedy in the world of wrestling when you have a 9-1 lead and have a wrestler come back and win the bout. Kevin Logue, a very good sophomore from Kingsway. He has 2 losses this year. He lost to Kevin Jackson.
Right.
4-1. Jackson, you know where he's from there?
He's from Woodbury. And he lost, and that was the same wrestler, John, that he avenged that loss this afternoon.
Right.
And they were originally seeded in this weight class 1 and 2.
Right.
Kevin Jackson was originally the 1 seed, and Kevin Logue was originally the 2 seed. And Scott Seibert moved up from 130 to 135. So Kevin Logue and Kevin Jackson met in a great semifinal match, 9-6, as you see Seibert picking Logue up. A lot of physical wrestling here in the finals, John.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Yeah, Scott Seibert, by moving up from 130 to 135 with a 22-1 record, gets the nod as the #1 seed, which pitted Logue and Jackson against each other in the semifinals. And we had, as Steve mentioned, Kevin Jackson of Woodbury, 4-1 winner over Kevin Logue in a dual meet. The other loss for Logue was to Bill Roseborough of Collingswood, 8-3.
And that was the first day of the season.
Yes, and the sophomore has an interesting future ahead of him. The coaches, by the way, Chuck Williamson, as we mentioned earlier, the Pittman coach in the corner with his brother Jim. And of course, for Kingsway High School,
Guy Davidson is the head coach, and he's assisted by Mike McConville.
And Guy Davidson, a former Pittman High wrestler.
Former Pittman wrestler going against his old school, Mike McConville, who wrestled at Gloucester Catholic and York College. Seibert doing a good job with that claw and crotch and lifting Logue back to the mat. Here's Kevin Logue, John, who has 2 losses all season. One on the first day of the season, and the other one to a wrestler that he beat earlier today. But he's got one of the best wrestlers in the state here in the finals in Scott Seibert.
And Seibert looks very good in this tournament, Steve. 11-0 major in the first round, a 47-second pin in the second, and he's got a 6-1 lead here and kind of dominating this bout. Logue indicating his knee is giving him a little achiness.
So we're going to have some injury time.
130-pound award winners, please be ready to see your medal.
What a great crowd here at Gloucester County College, Steve. It always draws the fans out for a big evening. And of course, that melodic voice in the background replacing you for this finals while you're doing your duties here for Channel 5 is that John Giovanetti.
Yeah, John, it took me a little while to settle in over here, to be quite honest with you, because a lot of rushing around getting ready for these finals. And yeah, John's doing a good job over there, announcing the winners and the upcoming bouts. Wayne Rochelle keeping him in line.
Well, he's got to keep him in line. Somebody's got to keep Giovanetti in line.
Although that's like a full-time job.
So Mrs. Vogue won the 50-50, huh?
Wow. And it's, they don't announce how much it is, but I would suspect it's a few dollars, considering that there's a few people here in the stands.
Well, since she's gone to the Region 8 tournament this upcoming weekend and is staying overnight Friday, I imagine most of those winnings will go to the casino.
Well, the idea of them going there is fine, but the whole idea of going there is to bring those winnings home with you.
I just saw Barry Jackson hit Logue for stalling again, and he held up 2 fingers. So one more stalling called against Kevin Logue, and we have a disqualification on the penalty point chart.
As we go to the 3rd period, so we have 2 more minutes to go. Logue in the offensive position, Seibert leading 8-1. This is the first match of the night, John, that really hasn't affected the team championship.
That's true.
Paulsboro and West Effort in every one of the first 5 bouts, and here we are in the 6th, 135.
Pitbull walks in front of the table.
Yeah.
Seneca Cooper, all smiles, waving to some fans.
A happy Pitbull at this point. Now, I know he really wanted this, John. There's someone who has wrestled 135 the first half of the year and then 130 the second half. And, you know, he lost as a freshman to Bill Lucas, who he had beaten during the season. Then he lost to Joe Melchior in the semifinals as a sophomore. And as a junior, losing to Scott Seibert, who he had beaten during the season, and then came back it just seemed that in this Saturday of district competition, he didn't have much success, but he did tonight.
Well, he certainly did. It's like that Mark Somm of Gloucester a few years ago. Constantly there you see a gesture of friendship there, or sportsmanship. Seibert kicking the stuffings out of Logue, so to speak, in sports terminology, and helping him up. But that Mark Somm, who's now wrestling for Hofstra University, was second for Glassboro until his senior year when he won the championship, and did not want to go out of District 29 being known as a wrestler who could never win a district title. And of course, Seneca Cooper facing that this evening and prevailed just like Mark Somm did.
Yeah, we have no one from our district, from District 29, that has ever won 100 matches and not won a district title. Mark Somm had won 100 matches in his career, and so did Seneca Cooper, and they both ended up winning district titles. Mark Somm, his senior year, went on to place third in the state as Scott Seibert tries a tilt there.
Yes, and people remember that he lost in the Super Regionals at Cherry Hill East, which is actually the preliminary first two rounds of the state tournament. They've now moved them to 4 locations in the state. Region 7 and 8 go to Cherry Hill East. He lost that night in his second round. In the second round at Cherry Hill East, and went on to finish third in the state that year.
That's right, and he lost to an outstanding wrestler in the second round, and he managed to come all the way back. He lost to Mike Sandelier in that second round and went all the way back and finished third.
Mike Sandelier, of course, won a state championship for Washington Township High School.
That's right, and then was also a runner-up.
Yes, he was. 25 seconds remaining. You're absolutely correct. Seibert with an 11-1 lead. And polishing off a great career at Pittman High School. 91-17. What's that school record for Pittman in wins?
I believe the school record is 92 or 93. John, maybe we can get somebody to find that out for us, but it's held by Wayne Merschel, Jr.
15
and John Barcelo.
Wayne Merschel this year coaching over at Haverford, is that?
Assistant at Haverford School, and just became a teacher at Pittman in the elementary school.
Really? Well, you know what that means. If he's a teacher in the system, imagine he'll be looking forward to coaching that Pittman High School team someday. We're winding down, and there it is. 135-pound champion with an 11-1 major decision. Scott Seibert of Pittman High School, his second consecutive District 29 championship, 4 times a medalist in this district. We're going to go see John Mondelli, and he's going to be talking to the little pit bull, Seneca Cooper of Paulsboro High School.
Okay, John and Steve with Seneca Cooper, the champ at 130 pounds. Came close before. Big match for you?
It was a big match. I was waiting to try to win a district title for my first time, so it was like my first time out there. I was just going out as hard as I could so I could win it for my last year.
What did you know about Zach Bush?
I really know too much about him. We wrestled him early in the year, and he pinned our first start at 130 pound. I just thought he was a tough kid, you know what I mean? So I was ready for a tough match.
Now, are you comfortable at 130? I know you've been going back 130, 135. Is this where you feel best?
Yeah, I feel much stronger down here. I feel like a big 30 pounder because 35 I was doing pretty good up there, and I was handling them all right. So I figured I'd go that one more weight class, I'd even do better. Better in conditioning and everything like that.
Congratulations. Great year, football and wrestling. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this timeout.
Welcome back to Gloucester County College in the District 29 Championship Finals. We're at 140 pounds. The number 1 seed, George Wilson of Paulsboro High School. He's a senior with a 27-1 record, and he's up against Matt Hoover of Kingsway High School, a sophomore with an 18-3 record. Steve, this is a rematch of a dual meet bout between the two wrestlers.
And a very close match that was. 6-4, George Wilson winning in a dual meet at Kingsway, middle of January, and here they are, and as we thought they would be, in the district finals.
Seeded 1 and 2, George Wilson, the number 1 seed, advanced with a 146 fall over Jim Morrissey of Pittman, and then he a major decision over Kirk Clark of West Deptford, 12-0. Matt Hoover, the number 2 seed, advanced with a 16-5 major decision over Sam Hingston of Woodstown, and then he made the finals with a exciting 12-10 overtime win over Mark Sadlowski of Clearview. It went overtime, and of course that sudden death, and Hoover got a takedown 1 minute and 43 seconds into that 2-minute overtime period. Had it gone to full 2 minutes, they would have gone to a tiebreaker. Mark Sadlowski came back and earned the right to go to the Region 8 tournament with a 14-12 win over Kurt Clark of West Thetford. He'd get a 5-point move with 20 seconds left in that match to win 14-12.
George Wilson with the takedown, leads 2-0.
Very similar style of wrestling for these two wrestlers, both leg guys.
Both are good with the legs and are a little bit tough to turn with the legs, John.
George Wilson, 71-23 in his career at Paulsboro, entering this bout. He was 4th in the regionals 2 years ago, 1994, after being 2nd here at District 29 at 140 pounds.
John, that was a big takedown because I don't think you really want to be on bottom against either one of these wrestlers.
Not the way they use the legs. Only loss for George Wilson this year was to Derek Warfel of Millville, a fall in 5:32. Warfel is 15-2, was 15-2 this season entering the districts. Is he in a different weight class in the district, Steve?
Yeah, he's at 135, and from what I understand, he was in the semifinals today. And I was talking to Kevin Nastasi, who was down there, and was behind and hit a big headlock and got to the finals.
We see Paul Marina talking with George Wilson as Dean Duca looks on, a couple of former outstanding Paulsboro wrestlers.
George Wilson adamantly in discussion about the front headlock series.
Well, he's a student of the game. There's no doubt about that. He's kind of a mat rat that's been around ever since his uncles, Matt Suter and Jason Suter and Freddie Suter and Timmy Suter, and I guess he went around when Jack Suter wrestled.
No, I'm sure he wasn't born at that point. I was a few years ago. 1972 graduate of Paulsboro High School, Jack Suter.
You see Orville Wilson looking on as Matt Hoover is getting attended to. That's Guy Davidson in the blue shirt, Mike McConville
in the sport coat, and David Tour, the trainer, who's done an excellent job at this tournament. He is Paulsboro's trainer.
Who's the little guy holding the water bottle?
Not sure. He's a junior wrestler for Paulsboro. But that's the blood spray, John.
Oh, that's the blood spray guy. He's got his rubber gloves on and his paper towels. The little guys wrestling in 7th, 8th grade here have been all over the place during this District 29 tournament.
Oh, there's many of them. And, they're excited.
Some of them getting under your skin during the course of the tournament.
Well, it's, as you know, because you were the clerk of this tournament for, I don't know, maybe 15 or so years, 20 years. And when you have 11 coaches and 11 teams of wrestlers and fans and officials to take care of, sometimes these little guys sort of got in the way a little bit, but
things do pile up. There's no doubt about it. Running a tournament of this magnitude in front of a crowd this big. End of one period, 2-0. George Wilson leads.
And as you can see, as I said, Matt Hoover chose the neutral position here in the second period.
George Wilson's choice, he deferred, and Hoover takes the neutral position, going to try and get a takedown himself. The only 2 points were by Wilson's takedown in the first period. Oh,
dump by Wilson.
Oh, brother.
And no control. Great dump there. Here's a situation. There's Hoover on a dump. Senior against the sophomore, John, and George Wilson again has never won a district title. He's been to the finals before, and big match for him. Matt Hoover, who I believe will win a district title, maybe tonight, but I'm sure he's going to be somebody who's going to be a mainstay around here for a while, 2 more years.
Yeah, excuse me, Steve, didn't interrupt you there. He's facing a 4-0 deficit now as Wilson gets his second takedown. Matt Hoover this year, as you mentioned, lost to George Wilson 6-4 in the dual meet. Also lost to Ryan Monroe of Absegami 9-4, and Matt Schifalalio of Buna 3-0. I'm very proud I can pronounce that name.
Yeah.
But I sure can't
spell it. A lot of work.
A
lot of work on that name.
brings back memories of Nicky Berchichelli, of course, who I worked with for several years on Channel 5. Steve, he's now in Indiana, had his full-time job, but he couldn't get the whizzer right, he couldn't get the out of bounds right, and he sure couldn't get a lot of names right, but he was fun to work with.
Is Nick is he writing a wrestling dictionary out there in Indiana? Nick will get the tape as a shot. Sorry, Nick. But Wilson leading 4-0 here, 36 seconds to go.
We asked the wrestlers for some comments on the fact sheet as they turn into us. Interestingly, I had to chuckle when I read this to myself. Matt Hoover's favorite pastime when out wrestling is making fun of my father's hideous mustache.
25 seconds to go. Hoover doing a good job holding George Wilson's leg. And when Wilson just stays in good position, though, John.
Yes, he does. And when Hoover's father hears that, that may be the end of the allowance for a month or so.
You think he'll shave?
I doubt if he'll remove that hideous mustache. George Wilson is a technician on the mat sometimes.
There he drops into a crab ride.
Very physical.
Power half.
Very physical.
Very tough with that power half, John.
That's the end of 2 periods. 4-0 is the lead for George Wilson as we head to the 3rd and final period. And of course, George Wilson elects to go on his feet in the 3rd period because he's got 2 takedowns so far, and I think I'd do the same thing.
You know, John, it's interesting that these 2 wrestlers were extremely dominant the whole season on the mat, and the key to this match has been takedowns.
Well, I'm sure that's something that both coaches drill, but I've never seen wrestlers drill like Paul Marina drills them sometimes with his staff on the importance of getting that first 2 points, which has to come from the neutral position many times. And a lot of Paulsboro wrestlers have been very good on their feet. Of course, a couple of them tonight got beat on their feet, mainly David Gibbon by John White and Demian Green by Jason Mercado.
That's right, John. And here's a situation where George Wilson has just done an excellent job doing what he needed to do, and that's get takedowns, because whoever got the takedowns in this match was going to be in their favorite position, which is the offensive position. Look at Matt Hoover, who's an outstanding wrestler on top, and he has not been on top yet in this bout.
We have another break in the action here. Blood time for Matt Hoover.
I just want to make a point that 2 years ago, George Wilson was in the region semifinals against Adriel Bale of Washington Township, and a similar situation happened to George in that match, and that even though George was very good on top, even as a sophomore, he never got on top of Adriel Bale. And in this match, Matt Hoover, good offensive wrestler, has not had the offensive position for 1 second.
You're right. You're absolutely right. A couple policemen sitting in front of our table here. That Freddie Suter and
Tom Sullivan.
Got a tug on my pants, and they're trying to get some airtime. We're not going to put the camera on him. As you can see, Paul Marina and Dean Duca talking to George Wilson.
4-0 here in the 3rd. George Wilson leading Matt Hoover.
George Wilson, of course, a member of the Suter clan, so to speak. All the brothers were his uncles.
Son of Lori Suter.
Yes.
Sister to Matt and Jason, Fred and Tim and Jack.
Here we go. 3rd period action. 1:15 remaining in this bout. George Wilson with a 4-0 lead over Matt Hoover. And as you mentioned, and I agree with you, if Matt Hoover doesn't win a District 29 title this year, he's got 2 more shots, and he certainly is an outstanding
He's a
young
good
wrestler.
one, John.
Yes. Fact is, West Effort and Kingsway and Clearview all have some great young wrestlers coming back next year.
Hoover with 2 shots. Wilson takes a shot on the line, which is a good move. You don't want a stall call here, John.
No.
And Hoover needs to get a takedown to get him back in this match where he can get in his favorite position.
And of course, a win here would be excellent for Paulsboro with only a 6.5-point team lead at this point.
This would put it back up to where we started, John, at 10.5. and both teams will have 3 wrestlers left.
Stalling call against George Wilson, and he points to himself like he finds it incredulous to believe. 25 seconds remaining in this bout. Wilson with a 4-0 lead on a pair of takedowns.
"16 seconds left, and
you know, interestingly, Steve, after that match in over at Kingsway where Wilson beat Hoover 6-4, he kind of was slumped down against the wall before the team bus left to go home, and he was kind of disappointed in himself. He didn't think he had a very good effort, and you try to tell wrestlers sometimes that, hey, you know, the other guy's not going to walk out there and flop on his back. He did a nice job that night, and he's doing a very good job tonight. On a way to winning his first District 29 championship. Time runs out. 4-0 is the final score. George Wilson of Paulsboro wins the 140-pound title, increases Paulsboro's lead to 10.5 points. And we're going to go visit John Mondelli, who will be talking with Scott Seibert, the 135-pound champion.
John and Steve with 2-time district champ Scott Seibert. Scott, congratulations. Talk about the switch. Originally, you were listed at 130. You went to 135. Why the change?
Kind of pointless for me and Cooper to wrestle each other all the way up through state. So, coach told me the night before. I agreed with it, so I went up.
Talk about the weight class. Any tough matches? It seemed like you were in control the whole time, especially in the final.
I don't think there's any tough matches up until states. I mean, Davison from Highlands, I hear, is pretty good, but I feel strong.
What you do in this match? Because I know it seemed like you controlled it the whole time.
Yeah, he basically stalled. I couldn't really do nothing because he wasn't really moving, but did as best as I could.
Congratulations.
145-pound action. This could be a barn burner, Steve. Jason Brown, the #1 seed from Paulsboro, returning district champion. He's battling John Craig of West Deptford, a junior who was 3rd in the district for Shalleck last year, now at West Deptford.
That's
Brown,
right, Chuck.
a senior, 22-2. Craig, a junior, 23-2.
And this match, John, if Jason Brown can win for Paulsboro, Paulsboro will wrap up the district title. Paulsboro has a 10.5-point lead. West Deptford has 3 wrestlers, including John Craig, left, and there's a takedown for Brown. That would be a 14-point lead. The maximum points that you can score with each wrestler is 6. West Deptford would have 2 wrestlers left, and that would wrap it up.
My mathematician sitting next to me does the job again. Jason Brown, 22-2 this year. He lost to Jim DeMays of Delran, 3-2. DeMays, a district runner-up last year, was 20-2 this year entering the districts. His other loss was to Mike Kendrick of West Deptford, a disqualification for an illegal slam early in that match. 70 wins, 15 losses in a career for Jason Brown. As you've seen, escaped by John Craig. Jason Brown first at 145 in District 29 last year, 2nd at 135 the year before, 3rd in Region 8 last year at 145 pounds. John Craig this year has 2 losses. Lost to Kyle Talley of St. Mark's in the early season Yellow Jacket tournament. And he lost to Eric Hall of Voorhees. He's 61-12 in his 3 years of varsity wrestling. Pete DiBiase and Steve Lynch, the former Pennsville standout wrestler, in the corner for West Deptford. You see a takedown by Jason Brown.
Gently taking Mr. Craig to the mat.
Gently. He learned his lesson against Mr. Kendrick. Take him off the mat, put him back safely.
9 seconds left here in the first period. 4-1 lead for Jason Brown.
Jason Brown was this district's outstanding wrestler last year.
Yes, he was, John.
Going to have a couple of candidates already in the program this evening. That Dynamo at 103 for West Deptford. John White coming back to avenge a regular season loss to David Given. That Jason Mercado of Pittman doing a great job beating a returning district champion. And how about that Kevin Van Brill with his 3rd consecutive district championship?
That's right. And right now,
Scott Seibert.
Scott Seibert again with his 2nd district title. And I really think at this point is Jason Mercado. What a great match he wrestled.
Got a caution on the top man, and I think that's because he indicated a freestyle start the first time. Jason Brown I'm talking about, then changed his mind, and because of that he got hit with a caution.
I've never seen that before. Brown with a half.
I've never seen it before.
Changed my mind. Brown being very aggressive on top. He wrestles a lot on his feet, John, and it's unusual for him to wrestle on the mat like this.
Well, how many times have we seen him take wrestlers down, let him go, take him down
There he lets him
let go right there? I don't know if I always agree with that, but...
You know, on this level, when you get against good guys, you want to go to your strength, I really believe. And John Craig is excellent wrestler on the mat, on top particularly. Jason Brown is just very physical. He's so strong.
Yes, he is.
And John Craig is good on his feet. He takes good single shots. But Jason Brown, and right on the line, and a takedown.
I get the wrath of the West Effort fans on Roy Fenimore, but I agree.
Right, looked like control to me. Put him down in bounds, and then Craig slid out.
You know, I think there's another escape by John Craig as Jason Brown makes little effort to hold this man down. You know, one of the things that impressed me during the football season was the very last game of the year in that Group 1 championship game. Jason Brown, I think, late in the game, made 3 consecutive sacks at a quarterback.
Against Kevin Bolden.
Yeah, a tested veteran from Gloucester. But you know, just like it was nothing to get in there and sack the quarterback. And, geez, you know, if he'd done that all season, he might have been an all-South Jersey football player, too.
I know. Jason Brown is just a very good athlete. And there he is on double again.
Oh, my.
Fourth takedown of the match for Brown, right on the line.
And again, there was no way that John Craig was going to improve his position. And there was control in the eyes of both officials.
35 seconds to go here in the second period. Jason Brown. Of course, having the advantage coming into the finals with 8 opportunities to score points, West Effort with only 5 has certainly helped Paulsboro. And that was a good semifinal effort for the Raiders.
Yes, it was.
Brown with a half, 20 seconds to go. Craig looking for an escape. He peels. There's a neutral. Brown's one of the few wrestlers I've ever seen that can just wrestle on his knees right in front of somebody, and he's difficult to score on.
Very strong. Another one of the mat rats out there tapping the official on the shoulder as the time runs out, and that was that little
Haddock.
Little Haddock.
Yeah, John Haddock.
The Cakester's son.
Yeah, Cakey's grandson.
Grandson. Son. Yeah, he didn't want his son that young.
No.
Grandson. Cakey's son, John's son.
Right.
Irma's grandson.
Irma Stevenson's
Irma
grandson.
Stevenson.
Correct. Good shot by Brown again. Might run out of mat this time. No, there's 2. What explosion by Jason Brown, John.
Very strong.
You know, has
indicating a freestyle start, which means potentially another escape given.
Here again, John Craig, very good on top, hasn't had the offensive position.
Well, that's good strategy for this match. If he's good on top, Jason Brown doesn't want him on top.
Brown's strong point definitely on his feet with 5 takedowns to 5 escapes in this match.
And of course, one thing I've seen differently in Jason Brown this year, Steve, is he hasn't been as dependent as much upon the headlock.
Well, he's lost the element of surprise, John, because last year not too many people knew about it. This year, a lot of people know Jason Brown has a great headlock, but it's also a situation where he's really improved on his leg shots.
Yes. I remember last year in the Region 8 semifinals, he kept trying for that headlock against the wrestler from Buena, and
Castellini
got demolished out there. Yet he finished third and got a chance to go to the Super Regionals and the state tournament,
where he beat Mike McGinley from Highland in the second round, the Region 8 champion. And there's a takedown. There's another move I haven't seen for a while at District 29, a Japanese whizzer. Unsuccessful by John Craig, and Jason Brown gets another takedown.
John Craig looking at a 10-5 deficit. He had to try anything, and kind of a desperation move, although it's a good takedown move when it works, as we see another escape. And if Jason Brown gets a takedown here, he gets some bonus points for his team because he's leading 12-6. 25 seconds to go and counting.
At this point, I don't think Jason Brown wants to make any mistakes. He's doing a good job, though, penetrating on a double. Keeps his head right in there.
And with a win in this match, he's going to get his third medal from this district.
Jap Grizzly there.
2 golds and a silver. Time running down. Jason Brown wins his second consecutive championship at 145 pounds. Final score of 12-6 over John Craig of West Thetford. And John Mondelli will now be talking with Georgie Wilson.
Okay, with the 140-pound champ, George Wilson. George, congratulations.
Thanks.
Second time you wrestled Hoover this year. Both times were a war.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I knew it was tough. I had a different strategy this time.
Now, I know he's the same style wrestler as you. He likes to use his legs. You like to use your legs. Do you find that hard when you get somebody that's the same style as you?
I think I have the advantage. But as long as I'm tough on my feet, I won't give him the position where he can be on top, you know? So I gotta be tough on my feet.
Okay, talk about this year. I mean, during the season, our announcers have mentioned that when you first came in as a freshman, you wrestled 145. This is the lightest you've wrestled in your career, and it's your senior year. Was that a problem?
Yeah, but I guess this makes it worth it right here. So kind of last year I had some problems and didn't come out for the team, but I figured if I wanted to go out with a bang, my last year, it's the only chance I got. So I figured go down to 40, we had my best chance.
And what about 40 in Region 8? Do you know anything about that weight class?
Not really. I know there's some tough kids there. There's a kid from June is real tough, and I haven't really looked at all. I just know the kid from June is pretty tough.
Okay, congratulations. Okay, we're going to be back with more wrestling from District 29 right after this timeout.
Welcome back to District 29 finals action. This is a 152-pound weight class. Brad Entricken, a senior from West Thetford High School. Joe Harry, a junior from Kingsway High School. John Vogeding along with Steve Anuszewski in the finals of the District 29 wrestling tournament. Brad Entricken, a senior in the green and white uniform from West Thetford High School, 19-2 this year. Advanced with a 47-second pin over Pat Latko of Deptford and a 327 pin over Paulsborough's Frank Daminger. Joe Harry of Kingsway, a junior, 18-4 this year. Advanced with a 447 win over Todd Yukas of Woodstown and a 10-6 win over Ricky Watt, a senior from Glassboro. Ricky Watt earned the trip to the Region 8 tournament as the third placer with a 7-3 win over Daminger. Brad Entricken this year, Steve, 19-2. He lost in the Yellow Jacket tournament early in the season. Then he lost to that Bill Candy of Haddonfield, who was undefeated heading into this weekend's action. Joe Harry of Kingsway lost to Bob Jones,
Shalleck High School.
5-4. Lost to Ricky Watt of Glassboro, who he avenged in the semifinals with a 10-6 win. Lost to Franco Catagliati. Must have been in the
group playoffs.
And he lost to Paul Duffy of Clearview by a fall in 4:30. Joe Harry, 48-22 in his career, as you see him being attended to in this injury timeout. Brad Entricken, who wrestled early in his career at Paul VI, where he won a district title in 1994, was third here last year, was second in the districts as a freshman. So this is his fourth time of being a potential medal winner. Oh, he definitely will be a four-time medal winner because he's finished second, first, and third coming into this one. He's 69-15 in his career.
Interesting match, John. These two teams wrestled in a dual meet, which was a very close 29-28 dual meet, but these two wrestlers did not meet. Joe Harry moved up to 160, where he wrestled Tom Narcissi, who we will see in the next match.
And we should mention at this point that Paulsboro has won its 25th consecutive district championship. They have a 14.5-point lead, and my super mathematician Steve Anuszewski tells me unless a couple of team points are deducted for unsportsmanlike conduct along the way here, there's no way West Deptford can win the championship.
That's right, John. 14.5-point lead. The maximum West Deptford can score with 2 wrestlers is 12 points.
Of course, that's 4 for getting a first place and 2 points for the maximum bonus points, the pin points.
So Paulsboro wrapped up its 25th consecutive District 29 championship.
Well, as we mentioned just a few minutes ago, yes, we're saying 25th consecutive unless there is a situation where a couple of points are deducted. Now this is interesting because earlier when Roy Fenimore had those line calls, he had takedowns. Chris Hunter just then did not have a takedown. And of course his opinion was when the knees came down across the out-of-bounds line, you did not have complete control.
Chris Hunter was pretty sure of his call. He looked at Barry Jackson, and Barry Jackson concurred. So, again, we didn't have a real good angle being across a foot on the line, and you're out of bounds. So.
Yep.
Brett Entrikin, who missed the finals of the group championship for the shoulder injury last Saturday, recovered very well as we saw in the first 2 rounds of this tournament.
Right. And of course, Brad Entrikin playing a very key role the last 2 years for West Deptford in their resurgence or surgence into one of the top teams in South Jersey. West Deptford, a force to be reckoned with next year. Brad Entrikin won't be a part of it next year, but they won their first Group 2 championship this year, South Jersey Group 2. They made it to the state tournament, lost a heartbreaker in the semifinals of the state, and then lost in the consolation bout. But they're a very young team overall. West Deptford will be heard from next year, and not only in Group 2, but in the Colonial Conference, where Paulsboro has won 209 consecutive Colonial Conference matches and 25 years of championships.
West
Group 2,
Deptford won the
Colonial
championship.
Conference, and of course District 29.
That's right. West Deptford won a championship this year, John, as did Kingsway. Kingsway being the Royal champion of the Tri-County Conference, Royal Division. And the first time in a long time that we've had more than one championship team in this tournament. Really 3 outstanding teams in the District 29 tournament. And then the tournament, a lot of good individuals from schools like Woodbury and Deptford and Pittman, and it's been a really tough district tournament. I think these wrestlers will do real well next weekend.
Well, the District 29 always represents itself well at Region 8. Of course, you have that high-powered Highland High School contingent going to be coming in, and Buna, of course, is there, and Apsagami is there. We have 1:20 left in the second period, a 1-0 lead for Brad Entrikin of West Deptford. Matching up against Joe Harry, and you see a double stall call by Chris Hunter, the referee. I don't know.
There's a shot by Harry in on a single. Entrikin, good job with the whizzer. Harry comes to his feet. A little high on the thigh.
Oh my, oh brother.
Nice takedown there by Joe Harry.
Nice takedown. Joe Harry, a junior at Kingsway High School.
Brad Entrikin, a senior at West Deptford. Joe Harry, again, is one of these underclassmen at Kingsway. Kingsway, I believe, will have about 11 wrestlers back next season.
They have a ton of talent back. West Deptford has a ton of talent back, and Paulsboro coach Paul Marino will be searching for some bodies.
Well, he has some talent back, too. Don't forget he has Demian Green back, Jermaine Ruffin,
Marvin Hamilton.
3 district finalists returning, and of course with 14 weight classes, everybody's searching for bodies.
Steve, while we have a little injury time out here, we're going to take another look at a Hall of Fame inductee from last year. The South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame, of course, one of the sponsors of Channel 5's District 29 tournament. We talked about Ricky Delegata being an inductee last November the 4th in the 16th Annual Hall of Fame induction. Another was Bill Estat, former Pennsville Memorial High School standout, a 1970 graduate. He capped a 3-year varsity career under Hall of Famer Jack Harford by winning everything in sight at 136 pounds his senior year. Won championships in the Edgewood Christmas tournament, the District 31, the Region 4 tournament, by the way, Steve, only 4 regions back when he wrestled. Capped his career by winning the New Jersey State Individual Championship. He was the most valuable wrestler in his team his senior season. He started as a varsity wrestler his sophomore season, finishing 3rd in district. As a junior, he won the Millville Christmas tournament, was 1st in District 31 and 2nd in Region 4. And he was 42-6-1 in his high school career. Notice how a lot less wins in total matches for wrestlers back in the 60s and 70s. Following high school, he went to Lafayette College. He wrestled there, and he lettered 3 years in football and wrestling at Lafayette. He and his brother Frank were both outstanding wrestlers under Coach Jack Harford for Pennsville. Bill Estat, Pennsville Memorial High School, a member of the South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame after being inducted last November.
John, I have a question. Why is it called Pennsville Memorial High School?
Well, that's the official name of it. There are regional high schools around. Haddonfield, by the way, is a memorial high school. The official name of Haddonfield High School is Haddonfield Memorial High School.
Interesting.
Yep. We reached the end of 2 periods, and the score is tied 2-2 between Brad Entricken of West Deptford and Joe Harry of Kingsway.
2-2, 2 minutes to wrestle, John. And there's, I'm not sure whether that's blood or an injury time.
See, once again, the coaches from Kingsway coming over.
That's Mike McConville, the assistant. Guy Davidson, the head coach. Dave Torr, the trainer. Referees Jackson and Hunter.
Barry Jackson was just checking his watch because they time these injury timeouts. You're allowed a maximum of 3 timeout breaks and a maximum of 2 minutes injury time.
John, I think we have blood here, though. I
this
think
blood?
Yeah, I think there's a bloody nose, and that was in the first. I'm sorry, the first match today in the semifinals actually happened last night, John. Joe Harry's nose has bled 3 matches in a row.
We had some injuries here in the quarterfinal round on Friday night. We had a broken jaw by one of the wrestlers.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, who was that got hurt last night? And Gateway wrestler got hurt, suffered a broken jaw.
Wow.
And Joe Carchidi, of course, of Paulsboro, suffered a broken foot.
Broken foot.
Saw him on crutches today.
Bob Fredericks, please report to the head table. Bob Fredericks.
Yeah, and really nothing serious. I mean, I guess a broken jaw, or if it happens to you, or a broken foot is serious, but nothing that's real debilitating.
All right, Steve, on the attendant, a wrestler here. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. We're back for 3rd period action at 152 pounds. The score is tied 2-2 between Brad Entricken of West Deptford in the green and white and Joe Harry of Kingsway in the darker uniform, and have no takedown yet. They're out of bounds. It's still 2-2. Steve, that wrestler I was talking about breaking his jaw last night, I think I found out who it was. P.J. Souter of Gateway at 135 pounds. He lost to Paul Snooby by injury default at the 2-minute mark, and I'm pretty sure that's the wrestler who suffered a broken jaw last night on Friday night.
1:29 to go here in the 3rd. 2-2 tie. Brad Entricken, Joe Harry, 1 and 2 seeds here at 152 on their feet. Shot by Entricken for a barrel roll. Harry counters. Stalemate call by Chris Hunter, the official.
A little guy walked by here in a red jacket a minute ago, and I swore it was Seneca Cooper, but the hairdo was a little bit taller than Seneca's. The dead ringer for him must be his little brother.
Jared Cooper.
Jared, okay.
56 seconds to go. 2-2 tie. Shot by Harry, in on a single. Right about the same place he got his other takedown.
Uh-oh.
Hit by Entrican.
Oh, my.
Harry counters. Dragged by Entrican.
Oh, what a move by
Great job by Harry countering that. Front headlock. Great flurry there by two wrestlers, and 32 seconds to go. These two kids are really going at it.
They sure are. We have another timeout. I'm sure this is the blood timeout again as the trainer is attending to him. As you see over in the other corner, that is Greg Lay standing next to Pete DiBiase. Greg with a darker shirt on. And of course, the attendant over there wiping off Brad Entrican, because if he got blood on his back, it's got to be removed. Another great tournament here at District 29. Never ceases to amaze me, Steve. All the years that I've watched District 29 wrestling, there's been some great wrestlers come out of here, some great finals matches. This whole tournament has been super all weekend.
Yes, it has, and every final match has really been a pretty good match. I mean, Seneca Cooper and George Wilson both controlled their matches, as did Jason Brown, and Scott Seibert. But the first four matches were just
they were super.
Unbelievable. Every one was just wild.
Super. John White of West Effort getting a little bit of revenge after losing in the dual meet to David Given. The sophomore from West Effort chalks up an 11-4 win over the senior from Paulsboro. Demian Green, the returning champion in this district, lost 8-3 to Jason Mercado. A battle of super sophomores from Pittman and Paulsboro. Jason Gardner, West Effort, a real tough wrestler in a battle of juniors. Jason Gardner beat Michael Zeckman of Woodbury 15-7. Jason Gardner is impressive, Steve. It's going to take somebody really strong in Region 8 to beat him. Kevin Van Brill winning his third consecutive championship, catching Marvin Hamilton Jr. and pinning him in 5:04. What a great match that was up until the final pin. A pair of juniors will be back again next year. Seneca Cooper polishing off his first District 29 championship with an emphatic 11-2 win over Zach Bush, the sophomore from Gateway. Scott Seibert, as you mentioned, a tremendous year that senior's having for Pittman. He wins 11-1 over Kevin Logue of Kingsway. Georgie Wilson capping his senior year in the district with a championship 4-0 win over Matt Hoover, who'll be back 2 more years, a sophomore from Kingsway at 145 pounds. The senior, Jason Brown of Paulsboro, winning his second consecutive district championship, beating John Craig, a junior from West Effort, who'll be back next year. John Craig, of course, his father wrestled on that last team that beat Paulsboro from West Effort in 1968. We're back in action. 2-2 with 23 seconds to go. And we're going to have an injury timeout for Brad Entrican.
We've had more injury time in this match, John, than we had in the entire finals.
Well, nothing could match the injury timeouts we had in the West Effort Paulsboro match.
Without question. And we're in a situation here where 23 seconds to go, 2-2 match. We could be heading for a little more time. A little more time in this match.
Don't know what that was that Entrican injured going down. He seemed to, well, I thought he grabbed for his knee, and yet I see the trainer doing something with his wrist or his forearm.
There's been 3 matches here, John, in a row where one of the wrestlers has been an absolutely dominant top wrestler. And Brad Entrican, John Craig, and in a situation at 140, both wrestlers were pretty much dominant. And none of those wrestlers had an opportunity to work on top because the other wrestler did such a good job on takedowns.
Oh my, fireworks here in the last 20 seconds. Oh brother, oh my, oh brother.
Oh wow. Harry on a single. Entrican just fought and fought, and Harry was unable to convert. Looks like we're going overtime, John.
There's the buzzer, 2-2 after 3 periods. We're going to sudden death, overtime.
Shot by Harry, near the line. Entrican with a whizzer. Harry steps out of bounds.
Of course, anybody scores here by any way at all, we will have a winner. If nobody scores in the 2-minute overtime period, it goes to a tiebreaker, 30 seconds of wrestling. One man on the offensive position, one man on the defensive position. The first point scored wins the match by tiebreaker.
Joe Harry has seemed to have the advantage on his feet here, John. Brad Entrican has done a lot of countering. Harry shoots from pretty far out there. He's got to watch it.
Now be careful here. Oh, my!
Harry in on a double.
Brother.
Steps in for an inside trip. Headlock try.
There it is. It's over.
And a 2-point takedown for Brad Entrican, who falls to the mat, holding his shoulder in pain. Great match at 152. Brad Entrican of West Effort winning in overtime. Great effort by Joe Harry and Brad Entrican.
Gets the takedown and wins it in overtime. We're going to go with John Mondelli, who'll be talking to Jason Brown.
Okay, Steve and John with Jason Brown, the champ at 145 pounds. Jason, I think a lot of people were looking forward to seeing you and John Craig meet in a dual meet. Were you disappointed that that didn't happen?
Not really, because I know that we needed the points at 145. We just needed to win. I thought he was a tough competitor. I didn't know if I was going to win or not. I heard he was pretty good on top, and I heard he was pretty competitive. All I was thinking about that match was just getting the win in my weight class.
What were you thinking about tonight?
Tonight, well, I think it was a lot of pressure on me because the points is kind of close, and Coach wanted us to keep the tradition, and he told me that it's a little pressure on me to win the match, so we needed us to win the tournament. And I think I did pretty good.
Okay, Jason, congratulations. Now back to John and Steve.
Here we are at 171 pounds. Chris Bailey, the #1 seed from Pippin High School, and he's wrestling. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong weight class here, aren't I? We're not at 171. We're at 160. Tom Narcissi, the green and white uniform, the #1 seed from West Effort High School. He's wrestling Paul Duffy, a senior from Clearview, and the #2 seed. We've completed 9 bouts so far, Steve. Paulsboro has 3 champs, West Effort has 3 champs, Pittman 2, and Clearview 1.
Good finals, though, John. Really
Excellent
good finals.
Tom Narcissi, a senior, one of the twins on the West Effort team. His brother Timmy, a fraternal twin, wrestled at 125. Timmy got the 3rd place, I believe, didn't he, Steve?
Yes,
he won
he did.
2-0 over Steve Felder of Woodbury. So the fraternal twins will be going to Absegami High School. Tom Narcissi, a junior, 21-6 this year. He advanced with a tech fall over Mike Bonsich. Oh my! In the quarterfinals, and won by injury default over Keith Murray of Glassboro. Paul Duffy, senior, 16-6, advanced with a 135 fall over Jeremy Mendenhall of Paulsboro and a 123 fall over Josh Gagnon of Woodstown.
And there's a 5-point move by Tom Narcissi on a duck under that he turned into back points, and here he is. I don't know if there are back points at this point. There's a potentially dangerous call. Yes, 2 back points. Barry Jackson gives 2-point near fall.
Well, that should be 7-0, and Pete DiBiase is questioning something, the head coach from West Effort.
7 quick points there by Narcissi, and leads 7-0, and there was a situation with that duck under that Narcissi looked like he was in a little bit of trouble, but came out with takedown and near fall.
Tommy Narcissi mentioned 21-6 this year, 49-32 in his career at West Effort. He lost twice in the Yellow Jacket tournament early in the year to Justin Martin of St. Mark's, 15-5. And he lost to Tom Lang of Elizabethtown, 4-3. He also lost to Ed McKenney of Collingswood, 7-4. Lost to Joe Harry of Kingsway, 11-6. And to Walt Rittiger of Voorhees, 7-4. That was in the group championships. His other loss was to Jim Boland of Camden Catholic, and actually that was a disqualification loss. He was called for an illegal move. The wrestler from Camden Catholic could not continue. He had an eye injury. He had to go to the hospital, and of course, because of the illegal move, he won by disqualification. Paul Duffy
lost to Tom Narcissi 13-6 in the Egg Harbor Township Christmas Tournament Finals. He lost to Jason Land 8-5, Sean McDade 13-3, Bob Jones 16-4, Carl Seabrook fall in 5:39, and Scott Carone 7-4. I'd read you their schools, but the coach didn't put them down. Duffy 59-35, like to go on to college, enjoys working on cars.
Tom Narcissi in his second match with Paul Duffy. That was in the finals of the Egg Harbor Christmas Tournament, as you mentioned, the first time, and Narcissi won 13-6 and now leads 7-0 after one.
After one period.
Narcissi's very good on top, John, with the legs.
Yes, he is. Had a chance to sit and chat with Timmy and Tommy's mother, their fraternal twins' mother, Linda, at the West Effort Camden Catholic match. Told me that Tommy was the one that was born first, 5 minutes before Tim. Linda grew up in South Jersey in Barrington, went to Haddon Heights High School. The twins' father is from Ecuador.
Duffy on top. Duffy's very good with the legs also, John. We saw that earlier today. Narcissi's first trip to the district finals, as it is the first trip for Paul Duffy.
Narcissi third last year, so he has wrestled in Absegami in the regional competition. Duffy called for a potentially dangerous situation. 7-0. Duffy got himself in a huge hole early in this match on a takedown, a couple of sets of back points by Tom Narcissi.
Duffy really needs to get on the offense here, trailing 7-0. He's controlled Narcissi for almost a minute here in this period, but has nothing to show for it.
Well, and of course, when you're dealing with wrestlers who both like to use the legs, if you use the legs, you generally know how to counter somebody who uses the legs.
That's true, and here comes Narcissi right on cue, John. Right on your cue.
Look at this.
Could be over.
He's on a mission, that Narcissi. More back points, a reversal, and 3 points.
Now he leads 12-0, and we're getting close to that technical fall here, and Narcissi's a little high, John. He really only has one leg in, and there's a potentially dangerous call by Paul Duffy. Good job by Narcissi, even though he was real high, not to panic there, and control the arm, get the potentially dangerous call, and get a new start. 30 seconds to go in the second period.
Clearview coaches, of course, I don't think we mentioned this earlier when Kevin Van Brill wrestled, but John Marinelli is the head coach, Bill Chiaffi the assistant. John Marinelli, the son of Art Marinelli, who at one time was the Oakcrest coach, now is the athletic director at Egg Harbor Township.
The reversal for Duffy, leading 12-2. Excuse me, trailing 12-2.
Yep. John Marinelli, former Absegami high wrestler under Gene Barber. Bill Chiaffi, of course, wrestled at Glassboro High and was a 3-time All-American at Gloucester County College and Glassboro State when Glassboro State had wrestling.
Bill Chiaffi was on some of those teams that you mentioned earlier that were the biggest challenge to Paulsboro in the 80s, John.
Right, the Glassboro teams, great Glassboro teams.
Shot by Duffy, pops his head out. Narcissi now on a shot. Or at least holding on a leg, attempting to counter Duffy. Narcissi needs to stay on the attack. That's what got him this 12-2 lead, John, and I think that's what he needs to keep doing. There's Bill Chiaffi shouting encouragement to Paul Duffy.
12-2, Tom Narcissi leading. 1 minute 30 seconds left in the third period of this 160-pound District 29 championship final. This is bout number 10 of 14.
14 weights are a lot of weights, John.
Oh, a lot.
Just when you think it's near the end, you have 4 more.
Yeah. When I was in high school, Steve, we had 11 weight classes.
When I was in high school, we had 12 weight classes.
Then they went up to 13 weight classes.
And now
they're at 14. And a lot of smaller schools are having trouble putting 14 bodies out on the mat on a varsity level, let alone JV and freshman levels.
You get to the point where just anybody who wants to come out can wrestle, and we'll just match them up. Another takedown for Narcissi. Leading 16-2. Real close to a technical fall. 45 seconds to go.
14-2, Steve.
I'm sorry, 14-2.
35 seconds and running. Duffy trying to come out from underneath. Narcissi got the legs in.
I think if I had a 14-2 lead, John, I wouldn't be right up there. I'd be back a little bit.
Well, Tom Narcissi, ever the aggressor, is after his first district championship, and
gotta watch himself
here. Has to be careful.
Duffy going for his head, only 10 seconds to go. There it is.
A major decision by Tom Narcissi. He wins 14-2 over Paul Duffy of Clearview. We're going to go with John Mondelli as he talks to West Deptford's Brad Entricken.
Okay, with the champ of 152 pounds, Brad Entricken. Brad, congratulations, your second district title. Compare the two districts. I know you wrestled at Paul VI and now at West Deptford.
Everybody in your district's pretty much equal. And at Paul VI district, there was only a few kids in each weight class maybe that were that good.
So how about the last 2 weeks for you guys, starting with the Paulsboro match, then the state groups, your injury? How's these last 2 weeks been for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. We had Camden Catholic and then Paulsboro and then the groups, and it's just been a tough road. And we came off with a tough loss from Paulsboro, and we bounced back in the groups, and it's just been long and hard.
Now, what about your injury? You got hurt. You missed the state groups, the Saturday matches. Are you recovered from that?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm glad I won my districts and I have another week off. But yeah, I hurt my shoulder last Thursday, and all week I've been icing it and working it out, and it's a lot better now.
Brad, congratulations. Okay.
The 171-pound championship final of District 29, number 1 seed Chris Bailey of Pittman in the orange and black. He's wrestling Sean Hendricks, sophomore from Deptford High School, in the black and gold. Even with that win by Tom Narcissi at 160 pounds, Steve, the tournament title has been clinched by Paulsboro. They're leading by
5.5 points at this point, John.
They have no one left.
West Deptford has no one left. Paulsboro has 2 wrestlers left.
Paulsboro has John David and Jermaine Ruffin to go yet. But this will be the closest finish in District 29 action in the history of the tournament, I believe.
I believe so, John. I don't think it has ever been this close. Even the years that Highland won this tournament, I think they won by a larger margin than this.
Well,
of course, you would know.
We'll take a look at that in a second. Let me give the details here. Chris Bailey advanced to the finals with a 128 fall over Chris Williams of Glassboro. Then he had a tech fall 24-6 in 6 minutes over Brian Campbell of West Deptford. Sean Hendricks, the sophomore, 17-3, advanced with a 15-3 win over Joe Carchidi of Paulsboro. 8-6 over Anthony Eiffel of Woodbury. Anthony Eiffel of Woodbury beat Brian Campbell 18-5 to take 3rd place, and he will advance to the Region 8 tournament. As you see, Sean Hendricks with a takedown. Sean Hendricks 17-3. His losses this year to Wagner of Delsey 5-4, to McDade of Pennsville 6-3, and he lost to Chris Bailey 6-5 in a dual meet.
Again, another rematch as you.
Chris Bailey lost to Jason Land by disqualification, and lost to Sean Scannell of Absegami 9-3. And while you watch the match, I'm going to look up something.
Well, this is a very interesting match between the number 1 and 2 seed, a senior and a sophomore, and Sean Hendricks seemed to gain a lot of confidence with that takedown. Again, Chris Bailey, a senior who has been in the finals 2 times. previous to this year, and a District 29 title has eluded him.
Well, Steve, in 1967, Paulsboro won District 29 by 10 points over West Deptford, 82-72. Those in the days when the scoring for first, second, third, and fourth was a lot different than it is nowadays. But Paulsboro's first, West Deptford second. Triton Blue, Woodbury, Triton Red, and Deptford rounded out the field 1967. West Deptford won the title by 19 points over Paulsboro in 68. Highland won in 69. Paulsboro came back and win by 12 points in 1970. Highland won again in 71. Paulsboro moved on to District 28 in 72. They were there for 5 years, winning those 5 titles in District 28. It became District 29 again in 77, and there has not been a match as close as that 1967 10-point win since.
We are through one period here at 171. Sean Hendricks of Deptford leading Chris Bailey of Pittman by a score of 2-1. That was a really nice first takedown by Sean Hendricks with the jab step to take Chris Bailey back.
The escape by Hendricks to take a 3-1 lead.
3-1 on the stand-up escape by Hendricks.
Of course, in the corner for Deptford High School, head coach is Otis H. Myers Jr., second year as the head coach at Deptford. Former wrestler for Deptford High School in 1963, 64, 65, and 66. There's the assistant coach, Greg McLean, a former wrestler at West Deptford High School, 69, 70, and 71, who was second in the regions in 71, second in the state in 71 at 168 pounds. Two-time district champion himself.
There's a takedown for Bailey.
That ties it up.
3-3 here in the second period.
Otis Myers, by the way, Steve, you want to stay on the good side of Otis. He is a detective sergeant with the Deptford Township Police Department in the Major Crime Division. Of course, that wouldn't apply to you, Major Crime Division. 23 years he's been there. He's been an official with the Southern Chapter for 23 years and officiating at all levels. He's retiring this year from the officiating, as is Barry Jackson, by the way. His last year as a high school official, and Marvin Hamilton Sr. is retiring this year as a high school official. Marvin Hamilton Sr., of course, Steve, is a leap year baby. He'll be 12 years old next week.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. February 29th,
That's it.
Retired at 12.
Yeah. An escape makes it 4-3 in favor of Sean Hendricks. An impressive sophomore, Steve.
Yes, he is,
Very
John.
good football player. Excellent football player.
Yes, he is, and he plays a lot of different positions for Deptford. He plays quarterback, he plays running back, he plays linebacker.
And as tough and aggressive as he is, just got hit with a stalling warning by Orville Wilson.
A little surprised by that call.
Orville now the principal of Riverside High School.
Interesting situation in Riverside. They have their whole school system in one building, John.
Yep.
Orville only the principal of the high school, but the whole school district, kindergarten through 12th grade, is in one building.
Amazing. A small riverfront town, much like Paulsboro, the small towns that powers years ago. Feeling the numbers crunch nowadays. We're through 2 periods. Sean Hendricks of Deptford High School, a 4-3 lead. And of course, he only lost to Bailey 6-5 earlier this year. So another tight match again, tied up.
1 second escape there by Bailey. Looks like a takedown is going to win this match. Of course, a long time to go here. 148, 4-4.
Chris Bailey, of course, was second in the districts as a freshman, second in the districts as a junior. He did not wrestle in the districts his sophomore year because he was hurt, Steve.
Yes, he had a shoulder injury, has the scar to prove it, and missed his sophomore year. Came back last year, had an outstanding year, lost to Greg Harvey in the district finals at 160 pounds.
Chris Bailey, who's also a fine football player, says he'd like to go to college to pursue his own hunting and fishing show someday. He likes hunting, fishing, sleeping in the woods, and he likes being with Janet.
Oh, boy.
Sean Hendricks, first team All-Conference Tri-County Royal Division in football. He's a linebacker. Overbrook Christmas Tournament champion. Fourth in the districts last year as a freshman.
Single shot right there by Bailey. No takedown.
We're tied 4-4 with a minute and 10 seconds in running. I don't think we've ever had 2 overtime bouts in District 29 finals, Steve. Double stall.
I can't remember.
That's going to be a point. That's a point for Pittman.
5-4, and there's a takedown for Bailey. He leads 7-4.
I think we're very close to having an escape there.
No escape on the line there, and Hendricks is still in the defensive position. 52 seconds to go in the match. Chris Bailey leads 7-4. Bailey on the ankle. Hendricks to his feet. There's the escape. Hendricks needs a takedown to tie this match up. 42 seconds to go.
7-5.
And on a double, Bailey shucks it by. 2-point takedown for Chris Bailey. He leads 9-5.
And I think the experience there, Steve, of the senior, don't you think?
I think it's experience and it's physical maturity, John. Chris Bailey is just a very strong young man. Sean Hendricks, a big kid for a sophomore, and he's gonna, when he fills into that big frame he has, he is gonna be a monster on the football field and on the wrestling mat.
As we mentioned earlier, Chuck Williamson and Jim Williamson, the coaches in Pittman's corner. Otis Myers and Greg McLean in the Deptford corner.
I saw Greg McLean wrestle in the state tournament when he lost to Dave Gaughan of North Hunterdon, who was an outstanding 2-time state champion back in the early 70s.
We know Greg was a great athlete in West Deptford from the time he was in Little League baseball and up. He used to be knocking the ball out of the park when he was a Little League ball player in West Deptford. Football player, wrestler, and baseball player for West Deptford. Time running out, 9-5. Chris Bailey has the lead with 9 seconds remaining as they go out of bounds. You see a stall on Bailey, makes it 9-6 because 1 point goes to Hendricks.
9-6, 9 seconds to go. Hendricks needs a big move.
Not going to get the time for it. And that's it. Chris Bailey of Pittman High School wins by a final score of 9-6 over Sean Hendricks. And we're going to listen to John Mondelli talk with a 160-pound champion, Tom Narcissi of West Deptford.
John and Steve with the champ at 160 pounds, Tom Narcissi. Tom, congratulations. You're in control of the match the whole time, but the thing about you this year, I noticed you're at 160, you're at 171, you're at 189. Talk about bouncing back and forth.
It's hard, but I don't know. I try my best to help out for the team.
I guess the most encouraging thing was, I think, against Paulsboro when you went up to 189 against Hampton, who's very strong. Going into that match, were you confident?
Yeah, I was very confident because I didn't know who I was wrestling. It's just my coach thought I could go out better. I have a better chance against a bigger kid, strong kid. He put me at 189, and I just try to do my job.
And what about your match tonight? Did you see your opponent before, Duffy?
Yeah, I wrestled him this year, earlier in the season, for first place at the Egg Harbor tournament. And just, I beat him, but I forget this one.
Okay, how about up at Region 8? I know 160 is pretty tough.
Yeah, I know. It's real tough. Like, you got Saul and all that in there. I'm just going to try my best.
Okay, congratulations. Okay, back to John and Steve.
We're back at 189 pounds at District 29 final. John Vogeding along with Steve Anuszewski. Harry Weber of Deptford, the number 1 seed at 189 pounds. He's wrestling number 3 seed, Dave Jamison, a junior from Kingsway High School. Harry Weber, 19-2. He advanced to the finals with a 1-minute fall over Jake Smith of Clayton and a 7-1 win over Chris Jackson of Woodbury. Dave Jamieson, the number 3 seed, 14-4 on the year, advanced with a 4-3 win over Bill Atkinson of West Deptford, which had the ire of a few West Deptford fans in the finals or the quarterfinals on Friday night. Dave Jamieson then won 9-7 over Dave Mortimer of Woodstown in the semifinals. Mortimer went on to pin Jackson of Woodbury in 30 seconds for 3rd place and a right to go to the Region 8 tournament. Harry Weber, Steve, 2 losses this year. One to that Ryan Donaldson of St. James, 12-6. And then he lost by default to Billy Newman of Overbrook, winning 6-4 at the time. He lost by default.
That loss to Donaldson, John, was earlier this week. Deptford and St. James had a makeup match earlier this week. Was snowed out earlier in the season. And there's a situation where having a match district week is a little tough, but maybe it's good to have good competition that week.
Yeah, that's for sure. Dave Jamieson of Kingsway has 4 losses this year. He lost to Dave Mortimer of Woodstown 11-8. Came back and avenged that with a 9-7 win in the semifinals.
Yeah.
He lost to John David of Paulsboro 5-3. He got pinned by Ryan Donaldson of St. James in 139, and he lost to that Greg Sawyer, up-and-coming young wrestler for Delsey High School, 5-3. Jamieson listed one of his favorite pastimes is playing football, and he's a good one.
0-0 early, late in the first period now. 29 seconds to go. No score.
So that Steve Sarbello just come by a while
more of an
ago.
administrative thing. Steve asked me, John Giovanetti sent him over to me, wanted to make sure to ask me if we were having a champions picture and a team picture after the tournament, which we are, and it's important for the champions and the team members to stay dressed.
And stay in the arena, as you see a takedown by Harry Weber. No, I'm sorry, Dave Jamieson got the takedown, spun behind, nice quickness.
Jamieson leading 2-0 here. Big takedown to get it with 12 seconds to go in the first period, John.
Steve, putting together a district tournament is no bowl of cherries sometimes. There's a lot of pre-planning, a program to get together. Of course,
you having couple weeks.
You having that computer and that printout machine over on the desk helps save us an awful lot of time figuring up team scoring and getting bout sheets ready. We reach the end of the first period. 2-0 is the score. Dave Jamieson of Kingsway has the lead.
Earlier this week on John Mondelli's Sports Week show, I picked Dave Jamieson, who was a number 3 seed in this tournament, as someone that I felt could come through and win this tournament. Here he is in the finals and leading 2-0. And to his feet, Weber on a single. There's a half. Jamieson to the mat.
Both relatively young, so to speak, in their District 29 careers. Harry Weber has been wrestling since he was a sophomore. He's 43-9 career. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. 24-6.
Well, it says 24-6 here. It says 19-2 there. Got me confused.
Yeah.
He is a junior, right?
Yes, he is.
Well, one place on the sheet we got down 19-2 as entering the finals, and down the bottom for a junior year we got 20-5.
I think that was his sophomore year, John. I think that was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 4-1 as a freshman, so he's 43-9 in his career. And of course, Dave Jamieson, a relatively young career at Kingsway, 14-4. He's a junior. They'll both be back next year.
All Dave Jamieson's varsity matches coming during this season. Stalling call as in unison. Stalling call on Dave Jamieson, and that could loom very important. He has a 3-0 lead, but you want to stay aggressive here. That's what got you the lead. Stick with it. There's a double shot by Jamieson.
Oh, my.
Weber to his back. Dave Jamieson leading 5-0 as we reach the halfway point in this bout. 58 seconds to go in the second period.
Now, I don't think I've seen Dave Jamieson look entirely in 100% wrestling shape a couple times I've seen him this year. If he gets in wrestling shape, he's a terror in the football field. I imagine he'd be a terror on the mat also.
Oh, there's no question. I think that the best match that I saw Dave Jamieson wrestle all year was a match that he lost, and that was the only match that I saw him lose all year, and that was to John David, who we will see in the next weight, 215 final against Dave Jamieson's teammate, Matt Borzio. Jamieson moved up in the dual meet, and there's another shot. Weber with a good underhook counter.
I guess we can only wonder how far Wayne Hampton might have gone at this weight class. Paulsboro senior, who was ticketed to wrestle 189 this year, got hurt early in the year, and
would have been right in the thick of this tournament. There's no doubt about that.
Had a knee problem. Is going to Rutgers to play football next year. You see
Weber on a double.
Aggressive takedown by Harry Weber.
Back in the match, and again, only 10 seconds to go in the second period when he got the takedown. And when you give up points, John, at the end of a period, that is really disheartening, and it also puts you at a disadvantage because you can't get those points back.
That's right.
You get taken down in the middle of a period, you can get an escape. Here you don't really have an opportunity.
Caution on Jamieson. Yeah, it's just like you hear hockey announcers saying you hate to give up a score in the last minute of a period, and demoralizing and breaks the momentum, breaks any momentum you might have gained during a period. And of course, like you mentioned, giving up a takedown late in a period and no time for you to come back and get an escape.
Weber trying to come to his feet. Jamieson needs to break him down. Now remember, he has a stalling warning. Jamieson struggled in his first round match.
Well, he did, Steve. He beat Bill Atkinson of West Deptford 4-3. There were a lot of people that felt in that match that maybe Jamieson should have been hit with stalling, which would have forced an overtime, but it didn't happen, and Jamieson won 4-3, and here he is in the finals.
Was much more impressive in the semifinals when he made your decision. Excuse me, I'm sorry, won 9-7.
But Mortimer is a good wrestler. Mortimer advanced with a 22nd pin over Bruce Diggs of Glassboro, and he won his consolation match with a 32nd pin. So Dave Mortimer was quite a wrestler, and Jamieson won that one 9-7.
Escape there. Makes it 5-4. Harry Weber with his 4th point of the match. It's a shot from pretty far out, but he's putting the heat on Jamieson, and you might see a stall call here. Good shot on the line there by Jamieson. 1:02 to go.
Harry Weber has to keep the pressure on here, Steve. Injury timeout or blood time?
Looks like injury time to me.
Roy Fenimore wave off the tell him to stop the injury clock, so it looks like it was an injury timeout.
1:02 to go here in the 3rd period. 5-4. Dave Jamieson leads Harry Weber. As I mentioned, Dave Jamieson's been warned for stalling. I think Roy.
See the stalling call, and 1 point awarded to Harry Weber of Deptford, and we are now tied 5-5.
42 seconds to go. And again, we could be headed for overtime. We had an overtime bout at 1:52.
30 seconds remaining. Weber on the attack.
Jamieson needs to square off. Jamieson to his feet. Weber trying to jack underhooks. Guy Davidson is encouraging
again.
Emphatically,
Very emphatic.
encouraging Dave Jamison to shoot. 10 seconds to go.
One second from overtime.
Overtime.
2 minutes goes on the clock. Everything carries over, including the score. First wrestler to score a point wins.
Weber on a double. Jamison with a front headlock pushes Weber away. He goes in on a double.
Oh my.
Runs out of mat space. This comes down to who wants it the most, John. Not a whole lot of technique here.
Oh my.
Jamison in, Weber grabbing the ankle. Jamison holding on to the leg. If Weber can scoop that ankle with his foot, he would have had a takedown.
Right, you got a stalemate call. 1:31 remaining, 5-5. The Kingsway fans are standing. Encouraging Harry Weber. Or excuse me, encouraging
There's
Dave
a throw.
Jamison.
Two-point takedown. Dave Jamison, the number 3 seed, has won the 189-pound District 29 title in overtime. So Kingsway has won in overtime and lost in overtime.
We're going to go to John Mondelli, who'll be talking with Chris Bailey of Pippin High School.
John and Steve with Chris Bailey, the champ at 171. Chris, 2 second places, your first place this year. Second time you wrestled Sean Hendricks. He's a tough competitor.
Yeah, he's real strong for a young kid. It's tough.
And talk about this whole season. I mean, you went from football right to wrestling and right to track. You're going to go. Is that a long season?
Yeah, but all kids we don't have a lot of kids at Pittman, so they need like everybody.
What about the wrestling team? I mean, the last couple of years you fielded a strong team. This year you had a lot of tough kids, but there's a lot of forfeits. The kids aren't coming out.
Yeah, our feeder program's gone downhill since when I was little, and just don't have the numbers coming out anymore.
Okay, 171 in Region 8. I know you have the kid from Absegami, Scannell. Who else is out there?
Nobody, I guess. I don't know. Hendricks.
Okay, Hendricks. Okay, congratulations. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more wrestling from Gloucester County College after this timeout.
Welcome back to the District 29 Finals. We're at 215 pounds. Matt Borzio of Kingsway High School, John David of Paulsboro, John Vogeding along with Steve Anuszewski, and Matt Borzio's on a mission. He got a takedown, and he got back points.
Real quick takedown there by Matt Borzio right off the whistle. Knocks John David to his hips, takes him to his back.
Matt Borzio enters this match as the number 3 seeded wrestler. John David, a number 1 seed. John David, 22-4, a senior. Lost to Eugene Klein at Somerville in the semifinals of the Caldwell tournament. Lost Eric Leonard of Great Bridge, Virginia, 4-2 in the semifinals of the Deep Creek tournament. He lost to Joe Howell of Delran, 5-4 during the regular season. And he lost by fall to Kevin Robinson of Pensgrove in the first period. Robinson 19-1 this season, Howell 21-2. John 34-7 in his career at Paulsboro. Matt Borzio, a senior, 72 wins and 30 losses in his career. He was 3rd in the districts as a sophomore, 2nd as a junior, already headed for Bucknell University next year on a wrestling scholarship.
David to his feet. Borzio came out very aggressive in this match.
Yes,
very
he did.
Aggressive.
Well, you know, Matt Borzio, a 2-time district medalist, and was the number 3 seed because he lost to Mike Shields of West Thetford in a dual meet, and John David beat Mike Shields in a dual meet.
David in trouble again.
Oh my! There are back points coming. John David gets 3, but after 2 back points, it's 6-1. John David advanced with a 54-second fall over Mike Kenyon of Clearview. He beat Buddy Rogers of Glassboro 13-5. Matt Porzio pinned John Loveland of Woodstown in 41 seconds. He beat Mike Shields of West Epford 7-3. Mike Shields came back to pin Buddy Rogers of Glassboro to earn the third place medal in a trip to Absegami. Mike Shields, of course, last year
was a district champion at 217.
217-pound district champion last year. Matt Porzio lost in the 187-pound district finals last year to Jason Hendricks, who's at Gloucester County College this year. Jason Hendricks from West Epford.
Jason Hendricks is an All-American this year.
Yes, he is.
We've earned All-American status today.
Paulsboro, West Epford, and Pittman all have 3 district champions so far. Clearview 1, Kingsway 1. As we've completed
12 bouts.
12 bouts.
Seconds to go here in the first period. Matt Porzio leading 6-1.
Earlier today, when Matt Porzio was wrestling, sitting in the corner was his brother Angelo.
At the time, Kingsway had 2 wrestlers on the mat. That barnyard record was on mat number 2. Matt Porzio on mat number 1 in a battle with last year's district champion, and there's Angelo in the corner.
Yes.
I can see him. Of course, he's not on camera at this point. We're looking at Paul Marina fixing John David's headgear.
Angelo was edging out, giving a couple words of advice to his brother. Angelo, of course, had a stellar career at East Stroudsburg last year and is an assistant coach there this year.
Qualified for the national tournament. We saw him last year.
Out in Iowa. Paul Marino on the left, Dean Duke on the right, attending to John David. After the conclusion of the wrestling this evening, they'll present the District 29 Championship Trophy to Paulsboro, a 25th consecutive year of receiving the championship award. The 12 championship wrestlers will be on the mat to have their pictures taken.
And the Outstanding Wrestler Award will be given.
Yes. Interesting. Second period starting, 6-1 the lead for Matt Porzio. He'll be on the bottom, and John David will have his work cut out here.
I don't want to cut the heavyweights out of this, John, but who's your pick at this point for Outstanding Wrestler?
Well, I'll tell you, Steve. There's a point of escape there.
For Matt Porzio, he leads 7-1.
There have been several outstanding wrestlers so far, in my opinion, and Scott Seibert being one of them. Seneca Cooper finally getting his district championship after 4 years of being in the medal round. Kevin Van Brill battling back to win his 3rd consecutive district championship with a pin over Marvin Hamilton Jr. And of course, that Jason Mercado beating returning champion Demian Green. So you have a choice of 3 or 4 wrestlers you could vote for.
That's true, and it is a vote for the outstanding wrestler, and it's not big as upset, but it's tough to argue with what Jason Mercado did in this tournament, beating 2 state qualifiers in this tournament to win a district title.
Yeah, beating that Andy Vallejo. Oh, my. Oh, brother. Oh, my. Matt Porzio, what a mission.
Big trouble.
Oh, my. Matt Porzio. Kingsway High School wins by a fall, 2 minutes, 59 seconds to win the 200-foot, 15-pound district championship. We're going to go to John Mondelli, who will be talking with Kingsway's Dave Jamieson.
Okay, with the champ at 189 pounds, Dave Jamison. Dave, congratulations. A third seed kind of snuck up on everybody.
Yeah, I just worked hard at practice this week. I had to come back. I had Mortimer. I knew he was tough. I knew Weber was tough. And Mortimer beat me earlier this year, but I knew I could beat him. And however, I was just hoping to wrestle my way and everything would happen.
I just talked to Chris Bailey. He came off a football season. You came off a football season, didn't come out for the team right away. How long did it take you to get in shape?
It took me a little while, probably about a month, maybe a little bit over a month to get fully in shape. But, we have pretty good practices, so that helped a lot.
Now you got a young team. Are you guys looking forward to next year?
Yes, we are, definitely. We got a very young team.
Okay, what about regions? What are your goals? What are you looking forward to do up there?
Just wrestle my best and go as far as I can.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Steve and John, back to you.
Here we are in the final weight class of the District 29 1996 tournament. Jermaine Ruffin, two-time champion at this weight at heavyweight division, wrestling Jason Rush, a senior from Deptford High School. Jermaine Ruffin enters this match 24-1. The juniors' only loss this year was to Anthony Cassiano of Caldwell by a fall in the first period in the semifinals of the Caldwell tournament. Cassiano was the top-seeded heavyweight in 1995. Ruffin finished first as a freshman and first as a sophomore in District 29 competition. He enters this bout with a 69-13 career record. No heavyweight, Steve, has ever won 4 district championships.
That's correct. And when you mentioned that Anthony Cassiano was the top seed, he wasn't just the top seed in the Caldwell tournament. In 1995, he was a top seed in the state at heavyweight.
Jason Rush, a senior, 39-8 career for Deptford. He lost this year to Hal of Delray in 7-0. He lost to Elk of Pensgrove by a fall in overtime of the Overbrook tournament after being 5-5 in regulation. And he lost to that Robinson of Pensgrove, Kevin Robinson, by a fall in 3:06. He was first in the Gateway Christmas tournament this year, the Gator Invitational. Steve entering this bout. Paulsboro has 3 champs, West Deptford 3, Pittman 3, Kingsway 2, back-to-back, and Clearview 1.
It's been a very competitive tournament, John, the most competitive in 30 years.
And I see the caution was just given to Jermaine Ruffin by Barry Jackson, the referee, because he wanted to utilize a freestyle start. He showed Jackson that, but he didn't give Jackson time to tell the bottom man what was happening, put his hands on his back. Jackson waved him off the back and hit him with a caution.
Rush in on trying to get in on a leg, Ruffin with a front headlock.
Paulsboro has won this team championship. Right now they have a 5.5-point lead over West Deptford in the final bout of District 29. So it's going to be the closest team championship point score in a great number of years.
Ruffin tries the Iowa front headlock and the underhook, tries to take Rush to his back, unsuccessful.
Third place in this tournament, Steve's probably going to go to who at this point?
Third place in this tournament, I would believe, is Kingsway.
I would think so.
And I don't have my computer in front of me, but they were in solid shape with 119 points coming into the final round.
So Paulsboro would be first, West Deptford would be second.
Kingsway third.
And we just had a penalty point awarded to Jason Rush here. And the explanation from Barry Jackson being that Jermaine Ruffin was being a little physical out there and shoving in the face. So we got a 2-2 tie at the end of this first period of competition. Jermaine Ruffin has to be a little bit careful, Steve.
Yeah, he does. And you just want to wrestle smart here. You don't want to rack up penalty points.
Paulsboro will win the tournament with having 3 champs right now. West Deptford will be second with 3 champs. Kingsway looks like they will probably be third.
With 3 champs?
With 2. They have 2 champs. But Pittman has 3 champs.
And they'll probably move into 4th place.
Probably move into 4th place. So the teams with the champions, the multiple champions, will finish 1, 2, 3, 4. Ruffin on the bottom, 2-2 tie.
Yes, because Kingsway had a sizable lead, a 33-point lead, 32-point lead over Pittman coming into the final. There's an escape by Ruffin. He leads 3-2.
Oh, my. If that's inbounds, that could be curtains.
That's right.
But it was out of bounds.
1 foot inbounds, 1 foot out, and that you have to have them both in.
Please report to the head table. Thank you.
Well, the people have hung in here pretty good. Sometimes I've seen this gymnasium almost half empty by this point. There are some empty seats now for people getting a head start on the highway. I hope this many people show up at Anuszewski to support these District 29 wrestlers. Steve, they've done a magnificent job in this tournament of battling each other.
And they have to regroup and Wednesday night get ready to go again because...
well, the seconds and thirds do. Stalling warning against Deptford for backing up. Goes Angelo Borzio, Bias, the proud brother of the district champion.
Ruffin on a double. Takes Russ right to his back.
Oh, my.
Big trouble here, John.
Oh,
there it is.
There it is. 2 minutes and 58 seconds. The third consecutive district championship for Jermaine Ruffin. We're going to go to John Mondelli while he talks with Matt Borzio, the 215-pound champion.
Okay, John and Steve with Matt Borzio, champ at 215 pounds. Matt, congratulations. You came back from 3rd seed. Let's talk about the semifinal match, because earlier in the year you had a match with Shields, a big, obviously a key match in a dual meet. He beat you. This time you came back and beat him. Did you wrestle different?
The first time I didn't have a real good match. I was very tense. Like, the match was on the line, and because I didn't win, our team lost. And I thought that I could have beat him, and I didn't. And I thought I let my team down, and I let my coaches down because they put it on the line for, they wanted me to go out there and win it, and I didn't get it done. And I was always running through my head like, the semifinal match I knew I had to win because my coach Mike Paganva almost killed me last time.
What about John David from Paulsboro? What did you know about him? Because you wrestled Ruffin in the dual meet.
Right, I wrestled Ruffin in the dual meet. I didn't know much about him. I knew he beat Dave Jamison, who was the champ at 89 tonight, and I just knew he was like a bull. I didn't know much about him. I never wrestled him before, but I haven't seen much of him. I just wanted to wrestle hard and win.
Okay, well, congratulations. Okay, we're going to take a break. More wrestling from Gloucester County College when we come right back. 3-time district champ. That sounds nice, Jermaine Ruffin. 3 for 3. I'm not going to put the pressure on you a year early. No one has ever won 4 district titles at heavyweight.
I know. I'm going to go out there and do my best every time.
What about this? What about the season? Was there a lot of competition for you this year, or are you looking ahead?
I'm looking ahead right now. I'm looking to the regions anyway. It wasn't really that much competition this year for me.
What about the regions? Because of course you got the kid from Highland who's unbeaten.
Yeah. So I'm going to go after him. I know I beat him last year, so I'll do it again this year.
How important was the district title to Paulsboro as a team?
Very important to us. We was down a couple of times in the districts. We just had to keep pulling together, and we came out winners.
Congratulations.
Thanks, John Mondelli. What a great night it's been at District 29. Great interviews by the Mondell man, the Sports Week host. Well, here we are, gang. The District 29 tournament's over for another year. Paulsboro has won its 25th consecutive district championship. They did it by 12.5 points. Paulsboro with 205.5. West Deptford 193, and as we said just a few minutes ago, Kingsway was 3rd, Pittman was 4th, Peabody was 5th. Hey, John. Jason Mercado, 112 pounds, the outstanding wrestler. He beat Demian Green, the returning champion at 112.
Yeah, John.
Great tournament.
A lot of surprises, a lot of upsets. I mean, John White's a good wrestler, but Given beat him the first time. Number 1 seed goes down there. Demian Green goes down early. A tight team race. Were you surprised it was that tight?
No, not really. I didn't think it would be 12.5 points. But obviously, the year that West Deptford had this year, the year that Kingsway had, I knew there would be spread out points. When Paulsboro had 8 in the finals and West Deptford only 5 in the finals, I honestly thought a couple more Paulsboro wrestlers would win. I thought Given, since he had beaten White in the dual meet, I thought he had a chance to win. I thought Demian Green, being the returning champion and a returning regional champion, I thought he did. But Jason Mercado had a great tournament. What a great win over Andy Vallejo of Kingsway in the semifinals, and then coming back and kind of dominating Demian Green in the finals, as close as the score might have been. The other wrestlers for Paulsboro, what a great match Hamilton gave, but Van Brill, a 3-time district champion, you can't take anything away from him. He was staring a deficit in the face, came back, used his savvy, used his experience, and got the pin.
I'll tell you who really looked good to me. Scott Seibert, the Pittman. He controlled Kevin Logue the whole match.
Yes, he did. And, Paulsboro's other winners, George Wilson, after not wrestling the last half of last year, coming back for getting that first district championship. Jason Brown met a tough customer in the finals, kept his composure out there, executed his moves on his feet. And, of course, Jermaine Ruffin, a 3-time district champion, and well on his way to becoming the first one in South Jersey history, maybe state history, to win 4 district championships at the heavyweight division.
Okay.
Of course, the 2 Kingsway wrestlers did very good. The 3 West Deptford champions did very well. Pittman had 3 champions. What a great tournament.
Yeah, I was going to say, just like John White got revenge on Given, Jason Gardner got revenge, beating Mike Zeckman. Zeckman beat him in a dual meet. And I thought the Ettrick and Harry match, what an ending that was.
Oh, just great wrestling at District 29. And I sure hope that people come out to Region 8 down in Absegami and join in the fun, because it's not over yet.
Okay, Vogue was a great ride. For John Vogeding and Steve Anuszewski, I'm John Mondelli. We'll see you next week for Region 8 competition.